from Grizzly Field in Baton Rouge. SportsNoah.com presents the 5A quarterfinals as this evening the Catholic High Bears entertain the Jesuit Blue Jays. And a pleasant good evening to you. Ken Trahan with Danny Ream on a gorgeous evening for baseball, and a great rivalry is renewed. It's Jesuit and Catholic, and what a trilogy been between these two schools in recent years when you think about the fact that these two schools have been two of the dominant programs in the state. They are meeting for the fifth time in the playoffs since 2008. And this is the rubber match, Danny, because they split the four previous matchups. Of course, this is a best of three, so it's a different scenario now. But going back in 2008, Jesuit beat Catholic 4-1 in the 5A semifinals. In 2010, Catholic beat Jesuit 9-8 in 10 innings in the regional round en route to winning the state championship. In 2011, Jesuit beat Catholic 3-2 at Turchin Stadium in a game that I did en route to winning this title. And they beat Aaron Nola in the process, handing him his only loss in 2 seasons. And then in 2013, in a game we did here at Catholic, it was the Bears over Jesuit 8-3 in the regional round en route to winning the state championship. And that's no surprise for these two programs. Jesuit, 21 state championships, most in the history of Louisiana, and 8 runner-up finishes, the most in Louisiana. And Catholic High has won 4 state titles, and they finished second 6 times. And Danny, as I get your thoughts, these are 2 of the 3 dominant programs in Louisiana at the highest level, because if you look at the last 19 Class 5A state championships, Catholic, Jesuit, and Barb have combined to win 14 of them. So clearly these are 2 of the top 3 programs in 5A in Louisiana.
Yeah, 2 outstanding programs in the state. A lot of tradition between the 2 programs. When you think about high school baseball in Louisiana, Jesuit High School, Catholic High School, Barb, as you mentioned, all quickly come to your mind as some of the real, marquee programs. And when these 2 teams meet, especially if it's in the state playoffs, it's an important situation. It's a very meaningful moment. And that's where we find ourselves here this weekend in Baton Rouge. The winner of this series will advance to Sulphur in the state semifinals.
Right away, some unfortunate news to report. Jesuit will be without its best player, Brandon Bruglio. He's not only their best hitter, he's arguably their best pitcher. Bruglio undefeated on the mound at 6-0, and at the plate, just been terrific all year long, hitting .417. But Bruglio, unfortunately, hurt his ring finger at practice yesterday, split his nail, damaged the finger, and he's out for the whole weekend. So that's going to severely hurt Jesuit's chances in this series. He's as good a two-way player as we've seen all year.
Yeah, he is. I mean, you look at a .417 batting average, and then really, in my opinion, the biggest spot that it's really going to hurt this weekend is on the mound. That number 2 pitcher, you've got to skip over that spot, and you lose that number 2 starter. He's got 1.2 ERA on the season. So, it's just really unfortunate. You feel for him, too, in his senior year, and the biggest moment of his senior year, not being able to go out there. So you feel for the young man, but you also feel for the Jesuit team as they lose one of their leaders and arguably their best player at the wrong time.
Well, that's going to cause Jesuit to have to shuffle their lineup, and they're just going to have to play pick-me-up basically across the board if they want to have a chance to be successful. We've got a good pitching matchup here this evening, as you might imagine you would. The Catholic Bears going with Brian Fairbanks, who's the LSU Eunice signee, who's been outstanding all year long. 6-2 with a 1.74 earned run average. Jesuit with its ace, Mason Mayfield, at 7-2 with a 0.91 earned run average. Runs figure to be at a premium with a pitching matchup like that.
Yeah, I mean, ace on ace at the high school level, usually, you're looking at a 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 type game. Mason Mayfield's really been a shutdown guy for Jesuit this year. He gives very quality starts, induces a lot of ground balls, keeps the ball down in the strike zone. Fairbanks, giving up less than 2 runs, when he gets on the mound. So obviously, a low-scoring pitcher's duel is what you're probably going to see here tonight.
You would think that would be the case, and hopefully that would be the way this one unfolds. But clearly, it's going to be a game where mistakes could well decide it. You've got to catch the ball as well as pitch the ball when you're playing an opponent the caliber of each team here this evening. Jesuit coming in at 26-10. The Blue Jays hot at the right time. They've won 9 straight games coming into this one. They defeated Ouachita, the 28 seed, 8-3 in the opening round, then defeated Destrehan, the 14 seed, by scores of 1-0 and 5-3 in the second round. As for Catholic High, the Bears were victorious in round one. They beat the 29th seed East Ascension, a very familiar opponent, 8-1, and then they defeated Hanville, the 13th seed. It's 3 games, lost 4-1 to Austin Perrin, but came back and won 4-2 in extra innings, and then won 5-1 in the third and deciding game. So clearly, these are two tested teams. When you look at the players for these two teams, with Jesuit without Bruglio, clearly the focus shifts to Nick Ray, the junior shortstop, who is a special player, just has all the tools. He has some speed, he has some power, can hit, can just make every play left or right at shortstop, and has a big time arm. But the kicker to that is his counterpart, by all accounts, is the best shortstop in Louisiana, LSU signee, and a kid that's been out of sight in Josh Smith. I've talked to no fewer than 5 people today that told me, hands down, he's the best in Louisiana. And talking to some of the Catholic coaches earlier, and I got here earlier, they said at this stage he's better than Austin Nola was at shortstop for Catholic, and that's saying a lot.
That's a pretty impressive statement, and that's got to get you excited if you're an LSU Tiger fan, knowing that he's coming to campus next year, and he's just had an outstanding year. I mean, you look at the numbers, 6 home runs. You don't see many high school players, especially with these dead bats, being able to hit 6 home runs. So he's got 6 homers, driven in 27 runs this year, hitting 370, slugging 691. So I mean, just some gigantic numbers out of Smith, and he's going to be somebody to watch, because in a game like this where it figures to be low scoring, you know, the home run potentially could decide the game. You know, if Smith would come up in a key spot and be able to hit a 2 or 3 run homer with one swing of the bat, that might be all you need on a night like this.
Grizzly Field's an interesting place because it looks big, but it's really not. It's 315 down the left field line. It is 350 to the gaps, and it is 360 to center field, and down the right field line it's only 305. So as you look at the field, I mean, when you look at it from the perspective of sitting behind home plate, it looks bigger than that, doesn't it?
It does. It looks bigger, but as you mentioned, it's not. And those dimensions really, you know, bring the homer into play at the high school level. This isn't a field that you normally see in New Orleans. Jesuit obviously plays in a huge park at John Ryan. When they go to Kirsch Rooney, you're playing major league type dimensions. UNO the same. So most of the parks that Jesuit's used to playing in are big parks where you can let guys get into fly balls and all they are is easy outs. But you know, these dimensions here at Catholic High for sure are going to put the home run in play.
Taking a look inside the numbers from an offensive perspective, the edge to Catholic, they bat 324 as a team, which is awfully good. Jesuit hits 282. The pitching edge would go to the Blue Jays, who have a sterling 1.40 team earned run average. That's really impressive. Catholic with a 3.12 earned run average. But again, take Bruglio out of the mix, and that is a big bite out of the Jesuit pitching for a guy that's 6-0 with a 1.20 earned run average.
Yeah, it's huge. But you know, with that being said, I'm sure this is something that Coach Latino has talked to his team about. It's time to step up. Other guys are going to have to play at a higher level. They're going to have to rise occasion. You know, things happen in sports all the time where guys go down and the replacement or the replacements that have to pick up the slack, you know, play the greatest games of their lives, that have the greatest series of their lives. So, you know, things happen, and it's a chance for somebody else to step into the spotlight and possibly be a hero this weekend.
Mason Mayfield will sit in the low 80s, can touch 83, 84, and has a breaking ball that he can command and an off-speed pitch, a changeup as well. The pitching matchup, and of course for Catholic Banks, he's an LSU Eunice signee, Danny, and you can talk a little bit about him and what he's been able to accomplish and what people can expect from him.
Well, he's a 3-year starter, so that says a whole lot about his quality on the mound. You start for 3 years as a pitcher at the 5A level for a team as good as Catholic High has been. That's saying a lot. He's thrown 2 no-hitters in his high school career. Beat Barb last year as a junior. So, I mean, he's obviously a big-time arm, and that's why Eunice, one of the top JUCO programs in the country, is interested in having him as part of their program. Fastball in the mid-80s, can get it up, run it up to 86, 87. Got a good curve with 12-6 rotation, kind of falling off the table, so to speak. So, you know, Jesuit's got their hands full from an offensive standpoint.
Coaches meeting at home plate, exchanging lineups, and those, of course, would be Joey Latino for the Blue Jays, Brad Bass for the Bears. That's kind of interesting. We mentioned in the course of previewing this game that Catholic has beaten Barb. Jesuit has beaten Barb. These are two of the only programs that can line up with a Barb and have a chance to beat them.
Well, Jesuit beat them earlier this year out in the Barb tournament, actually, in the final game of that 4-game event. So, Jesuit has defeated Barb this year. And I tell people all the time, Barb, I don't know exactly what the historical records are, but I would have to imagine that Jesuit might be one of the only schools in the state that actually, I believe, has a winning record against Barb. They've done a great job historically of being able to beat them. And so I don't think Jesuit would fear Barb next week if that's the way it works. I don't think Catholic High would either.
No, Catholic has already proven they can beat them, and obviously that's the case with both of these teams. The Blue Jays will be in their traditional pinstripes look here this evening, and Catholic High will be in their white home uniforms, black caps, orange print on the caps, orange print across the jerseys, and orange numerals as well, sporting the colors, and a capacity crowd on hand here tonight at Grizzly Field. They'll be standing along the baselines, people parked outside the outfield fences in their trucks and watching. So let's pass along the starting lineups for this evening's contest. First of all, for the visiting Jesuit Blue Jays, 26-10, winners of 9 straight under the direction of Joey Latino. Leading off at shortstop, Nick Ray hitting .349. Batting second at second base is Mark Teberge hitting .277. Hitting third at third base, Hayden Fuentes at .271. Cleanup hitter and left fielder is Steven Sepsich at .272. Austin North is the DH, hits fifth at .259. Connor McGinnis, the right fielder, bats sixth, hitting .286. Batting seventh at first base, Jake Lashardi at .218. Hitting eighth and catching, Josh Schmidt at .208. And batting ninth and playing center field, Mark Beebe at .205. Top three of Ray, Teberge, and Fuentes. Middle three, Sepsich, North, McGinnis. Bottom three, Lashardi, Schmidt, and Beebe. On the mound for the Blue Jays is Mason Mayfield. For the Catholic Bears, a record of 27-6 under the direction of Brad Bass. Leading it off at third base is Cole Johnson, hitting .343. Batting second at first base, Brendan Fairbanks at .324. Hitting third, the shortstop, Josh Smith at .370. The cleanup hitter and left fielder is Tristan Welch at .333. Batting fifth in right field, Daniel Gilbo at .303. Hitting sixth, the designated hitter is Connor Bowen at .263. Batting seventh at second base, Will Etheridge, .297. Hitting eighth and catching is Brennan Lambert at .308. Batting ninth in center field will be Patrick Rafasi, hitting .371. Top three of Johnson, Fairbanks, and Smith. Middle three, Welch, Gilbo, and Bowen. Bottom three, Etheridge, Lambert, and Grafasi. And on the mound for the Bears will be Brian Fairbanks. So the lineup's complete, ready to roll. One of the things that gets your attention is lineup depth. I always look for that, Danny. And when I look at Catholic's lineup, look at their bottom three hitters. .297, .308, .371. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is, and that shows you the quality of the program. Look, when you play at Jesuit or you play at Catholic High or Barb, you've got guys on the field that are outstanding, and you've got a lot of guys on your bench that are outstanding players that are really good high school players. It's just the quality of the programs that you have involved at this level of 5A baseball. So, 1 through 9 in both of these orders can do damage. They can hurt you. They can be very productive for their clubs.
Players still being introduced. We'll have the national anthem forthcoming shortly. And this series, of course, presents the right to go to Sulphur for the winner, and that's obviously what everyone is looking to do next weekend, is to be in Sulphur, to be playing in the state tournament, the semifinals, to play the winner of the Barb Sanoma series, which gets underway this evening. Barb, the 1 seed, Sanoma, the 24th seed. We'll have the prayer coming up, and then, of course, our national anthem to get things started here from Grizzly Field this evening.
Of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Loving God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together today in the spirit of competition. We are grateful for all you have given each of us, but especially today, for the gifts and talents you have given our athletes. Inspire these young men to compete to the best of their abilities and to represent their schools with honor and integrity. As they take the field, protect them from injury and keep them free from the temptation to go beyond good sportsmanship. Allow the fans to be a source of encouragement for their team as they embody the pride they have in their schools, as well as the respect they have for their opponents. Fill each of us with the desire and determination to live as you have called us to live. We pray this in the name of your Son, our Savior and Lord. Amen. And may dear Jesus, love be the heart of Jesus. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Trahan along with Danny Ream. It's Jesuit, it's Catholic, best of 3 format here in the state quarterfinals in 5A. And I like the best 2 out of 3. I just wish you would be in the first round. Listening to the coaches talk earlier, I think they've got a good idea. Play 2 out of 3 in the first 2 rounds and move the quarterfinals back to the state.
Yeah, I mean, that was always a pretty fun thing at the end where 8 teams were together instead of 4. It would obviously bring more teams and more people to Sulphur or wherever the state tournament would be at the time. Sulphur for now. But, yeah, that could be an, excuse me, an interesting fix to, you know, that single elimination first round, which I think is the biggest thing coaches want to get away from. It's a pretty scary thing. You know, back when I was playing, the whole deal was single elimination, which, you know, was really difficult. And at least we've gotten to, you know, the series play, and moving it around might be good, because then, you know, the best team should come out of round 1, round 2, and then a team with a good pitching staff would have to win the 3 games in 2 days at the end.
Catholic High on the field defensively. Left to right outfield of Welch, Crefasi, and Gilbo. Left to right infield, it's Johnson, Smith, Etheridge, and Fairbanks. Lambert behind the plate, and Brian Fairbanks the mound. And we told you about his exploits a bit earlier, but looking at the numbers, he has pitched in 9 games all start, 6-2, a very good 1.74 earned run average, 2 complete games, 40 in the 3rd innings. He's only allowed 22 hits, 19 runs, 10 of which have been earned. He's walked 24, a little bit high, but he struck out 44, and he's hit 4 batters on the year. So very few hits, and walks certainly have been a little bit of a part of the issue he might have. But again, he's going to be very tough for the Blue Jays tonight, particularly without Brandon Bruglio in the lineup. We're ready to roll. Nick Ray will start it off for Jesuit, starting a bit late here, I might add. Nick Ray at .349, 4 homers and 24 driven in on the season. Will stand in right side. Some will be a factor early in this game. Left side of the infield is an issue, and the outfield. First pitch of the game. Swing and a miss. We're underway at 6:09. So 0-1 the count. That was an off-speed pitch. Looked like a breaking ball from Fairbanks. No balls and a strike. Ray back in, open stance. Fouls it back, and quickly it's 0-2. So Fairbanks getting ahead immediately of what is Jesuit's best hitter in their lineup. And all season long, Joey Latino has hit his 2 best hitters at the top of the order, Ray and Bruglio. Yeah, it gives you a good spark, and obviously that's what he's looking for. A couple of guys back-to-back to really set the tone and get things going offensively. 0-2 missed outside. It's 1-2. Tried to run that fastball on the outer part of the plate and just missed. Fairbanks with a 1-2. Ray takes it high. Even 2-2. Wind is blowing out. We'll tell you about the weather conditions. Park can play small, and especially with the wind blowing out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Next one on the way to Ray. And he flies it deep to left center field. Ray's hit this ball well. To the track, to the wall. It is gone. And the Jesuit Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Nick Ray goes yard to left center field. His 5th of the year. Drives in his 25th run. And the Blue Jays take the early lead. Well, that'll get you started. That'll give you a spark at the top of your order. And as we mentioned in the pregame, the dimensions of this park puts the high school homer in play in a major way. You know, there's multiple hitters in this Jesuit lineup that could easily leave the yard with these dimensions. Mark Tiberge will bat. .277, no homers and 10 driven in. Left-handed swinger fouls it off the fists over toward the Catholic dugout. It's 0-1. Tiberge getting the start at second base with the injury to Brandon Bruglio. And Tiberge got in there right there ready to hack away. He had a good cut at that one, just fouled it off. 0-1 pitch. Crowds him and hits him. So shaky start for Fairbanks. Tiberge is aboard, and Tiberge goes to first, hit by pitch. And now Hayden Fuentes will bat. And we'll see if Jesuit plays the bunt game. I think you keep swinging it right here. Make them earn an out. I wouldn't give them an out right here in the first inning, and try to see if you can put a big inning up right from the get-go. Here's Fuentes at .271, a homer, 21 driven in. Third baseman Johnson is even with the bag. Tiberge a lead from first. Checked by Fairbanks, who pitches. And that's a strike call. No indication of a bunt. Let's see if Joey Latino changes things up. No balls and a strike. Bears 1 stolen base on the season. Short lead. The pitch. And that's way high. Off-speed pitch that was high out of his hand. It's 1-1. Told you about the weather we wanted to mention to you. 77 degrees, perfectly clear skies. The factor is the wind. Northwest at 10 miles an hour. Blowing out and across toward right. And there's a throw way over the head of the first baseman. And Bears will advance to second. So a shaky start for Fairbanks.
Yeah, this has been about as shaky of a start as you would expect. I mean, this is pretty unusual for Fairbanks. He just needs to try to settle himself down. You know, the homer from Ray obviously probably shook him up a little bit, but that's a normal little routine pickoff play from a right-hander, and he throws that one about 7 or 8 feet over the first baseman's head, so he needs to just settle in here.
Runner at second. With nobody out. And stepping out is Fuentes. First baseman Fairbanks now cheating well in, looking for a bunt with the situation with the runner at second and a turn towards second, trying to get an indication there. And he got nothing from Fuentes. He showed nothing in terms of a bunt.
No, I think Joey Latino's playing for the big inning right here. You know, why would you give them an out when they can't get one right now? Make them earn it. Try to play for the big inning. I mean, that would be huge with Mayfield on the mound if you could get 3 or 4 in the first.
Off-speed pitch just high. It's 2 balls and a strike. It's a big slow curveball he throws and starts high, and it's where it crosses the plate as compared to where it lands. And you mentioned a 12-6 movement. A good indication of it right there. 2-1 the count. And the pitch. And that's down and out. So it's 3 balls and a strike to Fuentes with Sepsich on deck. Straight away defensively in the outfield. They give him both lines. On 3-1, Fairbanks steps off. So taking a lot of time. He doesn't look real comfortable out there, does he?
No, he doesn't. He's not settled at all right now. And Jesuit, for their purposes, needs to try to take advantage of that.
3-1. Has a strike called, and it's full 3-2. 1-0 Blue Jays on a leadoff home run by Nick Ray. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Fuentes. And the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Good pitch down. Outer portion. Gets Hayden for out number 1.
They buried the fastball down and away there to Fuentes to put him away. So that might be the pitch that allows Fairbanks to settle in. But I will tell you, that's a big run sitting out there at second base right now for Jesuit. If they could find a way to get Bears across home plate, that would be big to get a couple in the first.
Steven Sepsich, the left fielder, bats cleanup today. 272, 2 homers, and 16 driven in. That misses down and in, ball 1. Sepsich, a good player, solid outfielder for Joey Latino.
This offense for the Blue Jays needs to really be fighting right here to try to find a way to get that second run in.
The 1-0 pitch. That's down. 2 balls and no strikes. North, the on-deck hitter. Fairbanks turns towards second, and a pickoff. They got him. Dead to rights and out at second base. The Bears, a huge mistake. And the second out, and the Catholic infielder shaken up on the play, so they'll check him and see what the story is there. And that's their star shortstop, Josh Smith. Boy, you don't want to see that. But that's a huge mistake on the bases by Jesuit.
Yeah, and Fairbanks is slowly settling himself in. He had a really good fastball there to put Fuentes away, and then they caught Bears kind of jumping off at second base. He started moving towards third. The shortstop went open glove, pick behind him, and he was dead out. So that was a huge runner to erase there. And, you know, you're a pitch away now if you're Catholic High of getting out of this, just giving up 1 run. And in baseball, you've got to score a run to win anyway, so it's not the end of the world if you only give up 1 here. But the way it initially looked this inning was that Jesuit was going to have the opportunity to put up a crooked number. now it's starting to look like Fairbanks may be able to escape this little bit of a rocky start in the first.
Josh Smith up, and he's trying to walk it off. It's a nice hand. Well, you want to see him stay in there. What a special talent he is, LSU signee. And now Brian Fisher, you mentioned, really has a chance to settle down. I mean, he's 2-0 to the hitter, and you got a runner in scoring position with only one out. This inning changes dramatically as a result of that play. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 2-1. I mean, it's amazing what a jolt of confidence that will give a pitcher when you get it out on the bases. 2-1 the count.
That allows him to just take that deep breath and start all over, really, with nobody on, and focus on the hitter and getting out of the inning.
Missing down to Sefcic. It's 3 balls and a strike with North on deck should the inning continue. Here's the 3-1. Ball 4. So Sefcic, a 2-out walk, will bring Austin North to the plate. Boy, North really was going good up until really the last 4 weeks or so. He's kind of dropped off. When we had him on the first NBC Prep Showcase about a month ago, he was in right around 300, but he's at 259 now. No homers, 18 RBI. Solid player, though. Fairbanks pitches. North takes it down and away. North back in. 1-0. That's a strike called. It's 1-1. Very quick to the plate. Fairbanks almost didn't pause there. 1-1 the count.
Make sure you come set. I'm sure that's something that these umpires are going to keep their eyes on. And I'm sure the Jesuit coaching staff in between innings will make sure they do.
Certainly did there, and he moves to first. And, of course, he's already shown he's got a good move. Back is Sefcic. Sefcic, 8 stolen bases on the season. He is second on the team in that category. Jesuit with 53 as a team. Here it is. In the dirt. Nice block by Lambert, but a good read by Sefcic. He'll be at second on a wild pitch.
Now you get that runner back in scoring position again, so they gave you the opportunity once again via the walk and the wild pitch. So with 2 outs, and we talk about it all the time in these broadcasts, who can get the big clutch 2-out hits in the playoffs and key district games? It goes a long way. So that's a big second run now out there once again here in the first inning. And Catholic knows that they're going to come out and talk to the infield and talk to Fairbanks and just kind of settle things down. Both of these teams realize with the Mayfield on the mound for Jesuit how big this situation is. If you're Catholic, you don't want to give up any more. If you're Jesuit, you want to keep scoring as many as you can. Mayfield's tough on the mound, and Catholic knows that. So, even though it's the top of the first, these situations in the state playoffs are magnified.
Cinderella matchup in 5A, game 1 of the best of 3. It was a victory for Acadiana as they defeated Ruston 8-5 in game 1. Bruley leading Lutcher 1-0. Bottom of the 4th inning in 3A. And St. Charles Catholic will have them tomorrow on SportsNoah.com, up 6-3 at last check on Holy Savior Menard. And what inning? 5th?
It was the 6th inning.
6th inning, okay.
Yeah.
2-1 the count. Fairbanks ready again with a check of Sefcic and the pitch to North. And a line drive hit towards second, caught by Etheridge. Softly hit, and the inning is over. 1 run on 1 hit and a runner stranded for the Blue Jays. So we enter the bottom of the first. Jesuit up 1-0 on Catholic, and Jesuit will take to the field.
St. Charles Catholic won 6-4, led by Justin Orey, who was 2 for 4. Justin Loop 3 for 4. Nick Ciano 2 for 3. Pounded out 11 hits. So big win there for St. Charles Catholic. Coach Wayne Stein, Zach Roussel win a complete game on the mound for them. So that's a big win. They're up 1-0 in the series.
6-4 final. And we'll have game 2 for you tomorrow at noon from LaPlace, as we look forward to that from Russell Godet Jr. Stadium. Game 3, if necessary, also live at sportsnola.com. Jesuit in the field defensively in the bottom of the first. Left to right outfield of Septic, BB, McGinnis. Left to right infield of Fuentes, Ray, Deberge, Lichardi, and Schmidt. Mayfield is on the mound for Jesuit. Mason Mayfield, the numbers speak volumes about the job he's done this year. 11 games, he's 7-2 with an 0.91 earned run average, and he has 6 complete games, so he finishes what he starts. 61 2/3 innings. He's allowed only 36 hits this year. He's walked only 15, struck out 57, so a very good ratio there. Again, he's a strike thrower, Danny. He's going to make you hit your way on, typically speaking.
Well, he does a great job, and been really impressed with Mason Mayfield over the last couple of years. And we've seen him time and time again this year with big starts, big performances. Tough to put things together against, tough to rally against, because he doesn't walk guys. He keeps the ball down in the zone, gets a lot of ground balls. So he's really nice arm for the high school level. Other scores in 2A, Riverside up 4-2 now in the bottom of the 6th against Ouachita Christian. So
up and Monroe, that would be a huge Game 1 victory for Riverside if they can hold on. Cole Johnson leads it off, and he takes a strike call. 343 batter, a homer, 26 RBI for Cole, who happens to be the son of Russ Johnson, former LSU star, played for the Houston Astros. He was a great friend of mine back in the day when I was doing the Zephyrs games. 0-1. And there's a strike called, 0-2. That's Mayfield. He's going to be around the strike zone all evening. No balls and 2 strikes. Cole Johnson to be followed by Brendan Fairbanks and Josh Smith. 0-2 the count. Mayfield ready, kicks, and he deals. And that's down and in. His first breaking ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fuente still playing slightly ahead of the bag at third, so respecting the speed of Johnson. 1-2 the count. Mayfield ready and brings it outside. It's 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Mayfield 6'2", 190 pounds. The senior delivers. Off speed, and now from 0-2 to 3-2. So he threw a couple of fastballs to get ahead, and he's thrown a couple of off-speed pitches, and now he's 3-2. Payoff pitch on the way to Johnson. Ball 4. So that's a good job by Johnson, and boy, that's not at all what Joey Latino wanted to see.
Number 11.
Leadoff man aboard after being ahead of him 0-2. A strike thrower at that. That's unusual.
It is unusual, but state quarterfinals and nerves are always a factor. It's all about settling in these playoff games. You know, the team that can settle in and play their game and not let the atmosphere affect them.
Here's a bunt toward third. It's fielded. Second base for 1 and no relay throw. Johnson had to wait because that ball was bunted in the air, and the third baseman, Fuentes, played it well, let it bounce, and got the force at second for out number 1. So it goes 5-4 in the putout, as Fairbanks did not get the bunt down successfully to advance the runner. And here's Josh Smith, the LSU signee, at 370 with 6 home runs and 27 driven in. Smith in from the left side. Open stance. Brendan Fairbanks runs at first. And there's a strike call. Mayfield, as we note from previous games, very quick to the plate. Tough to run on. And then you have a catcher in Schmidt who throws so well.
Yeah, he's got a cannon back there. Really, really strong arm behind the plate for Jesuit.
0-1. Tap foul, and that hurt. Boy, Smith's taking a beating in this game. He got nicked up in the field, and now he's trying to walk this off, and it's 0-2. He's wondering what he did wrong when he woke up this morning. Goodness gracious.
I think
0-2 the count.
Thinks he's playing football.
Walk it off, Josh. It's all good.
All beat up.
I mean, it's like we're not even through the first inning here, man. No balls and 2 strikes. Home plate umpire went out to the mound. It's a good move to kill some time, give Josh Smith a chance to try to shake it off. The little nuances of the game. We'll see umpires do that. Catchers do that. They all help each other out, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's all about giving guys time when things like that happens. You know, give them a little chance to work it out, walk it off, whatever needs to be done before play resumes.
No balls and 2 strikes. Ready once again. Here it comes. Hard hit ball is short. This could turn. Second for 1. Relay to first. That's a double play. So well done. 6-4-3 turn started by Ray and finished by Teberge. And in the inning, no runs and no hits, nobody left on base. We've played one complete from Grizzly Field, and there is no score. And you are watching the 5A quarterfinals on SportsNOLA.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Top of the second inning, 1-0 lead for Jesuit. And Connor McGinnis will lead off the top of the second for the Blue Jays, to be followed by Jake Lashardi and Josh Schmidt against Brian Fairbanks, who threw 21 pitches in the first. Only 10 were strikes. He really struggled, but he got out of it with help from a pickoff play of his own. And there's a strike called over the outside edge to McGinnis. It might have gone anyway. It's 0-1.
Made a key pitch to Fuentes, and then he got that pickoff at second. Really went a long way. And him getting out of the first, only giving up one.
Fouled off the hands, and quickly McGinnis in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes. Notre Dame leading St. Thomas Aquinas 3-1 in the bottom of the 5th. St. Thomas Aquinas, a #1 seed, playing at home in Hammond, and down by 2 in the 5th. 0-2, way high, and it's 1-2. Back to the backstop. And St. Michael's, a #2 seed in 4A, really good. They beat Franklinton 10-0 in a game shortened to 5 innings in game 1 of that 4A series. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And another. And a fly ball hit pretty well to center field. Back goes Grafasi at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Home run for Connor McGinnis as he knocks it over the boards, a straightaway center field. That's 360 to center, and he knocked it out of here. And the Blue Jays, on the strength of 2 home runs, lead this game 2-0.
Well, with these dimensions, there could be a lot of home runs this weekend, because, you know, this Jesuit team's used to playing in really big parks. So a drive like that at a Kersh-Rooney or a John Ryan is just a center fielder drop step and go on and get it. Here at Catholic High, it's a homer. So, I mean, Jesuit is physically able to drive the baseball most of the time, just because of the places that they play. It's outs, but not here.
Ball high and away. It's 1-0 to Jake Lashardi at 218, no homers and 10 RBI. That's high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes, and there goes Lambert to the mound. And again, remember, Fairbanks was very shaky in the first, but the pickoff move really bailed him out of the inning, and now he's scuffling again here in the second. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, Jesuit, you know, they're going to stay after him, so he's going to have to, you know, get himself together and get settled in and start locating better and making quality pitches. So they'll stay on him the whole way.
In 3A, Bruley leading 1-0, top of the 5th inning. Good game. 2 balls and no strikes. Here it comes, and that is high and away. So it's 3-0 to Lashardi, who will take a pitch here. Joey Latino just keeps his hands on his hips. No sign to give here. 3-0. And that's a strike. It's 3-1. Now he'll look down and say, hit it if you like it. I can translate. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And that's a strike. So it's full 3-2. Fairbanks trying to battle back after falling behind. The hitter, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. Got him. And that's strikeout number 2 for Fairbanks. Lashardi retired for out number 1.
That was almost the same exact pitch that he retired Fuentes on back in the first. for that first out. It's a really good fastball, good down angle, and he just buries it down and away on a right-handed hitter, and it's a pretty nasty pitch.
Here's Josh Schmidt, the Blue Jay catcher, who takes one outside for ball one. He's a 208 with no homers and 4 driven in. Outfield not shifting much for any of these hitters. They're bunching them all towards center and giving them both lines. Tried to bunt it, and he fouled it. It's 1-1. Good idea. They know their home field better than anybody, so sometimes you come into a place and you might want to observe what the opponent is doing because they typically know about how to play defense in their own ballpark. 1-1 the count. Another. Down and out. Skips away from Lambert. It's 2 balls and a strike. It's especially true in a bigger ballpark like a John Ryan Stadium where opponents come in and you try to gauge the depth and try to figure out what the ball carries, and we know it doesn't carry that well there, and you've got big dimensions. Here's the 2-1. And a drive to left field. Left fielder doesn't see it. It's a base hit. I mean, that is a sun field. I don't know that Welch would have caught it. If he read it off the bat, he might have had a chance to come in, but you could see right away, Danny, he did not see the ball.
No, he didn't. It's very bright out there. You can tell. And that one able to fall in. And Jesuit doing a nice job here early on of getting quality swings at Fairbanks.
And now Mark Beebe had a big hit in that Destrehan series. He's at 205 with no homers and 6 driven in. 2 sports stars. Interesting because we're watching the 2 schools that have won the last 2, not 5A, you knew I was going to say that, Division I state championships in football. Jesuit in 2014, Catholic in 2015. Breaking ball down, it's 1-0 to Beebe. Euphoria still reigns here at Catholic for their Division I football state championship, defeating Rummel in the Dome in a great game. Everyone in the state happy for Dale Weiner. Such a class act. Ball down. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Or can anyone say he's the best coach in Louisiana to never win a state championship? And that's a good thing because he's a good man. Look at him. Look who's here. Yeah, I didn't even know he was back here. He's one of the really good people in this business. 2 balls and no strikes. Stretch and the pitch. That's down. So 3-0. And again, falling behind hitters on a consistent basis, Danny.
Yes, he's just not settled in. It's not a quality start thus far, but you've got to find a chance to turn the tide if you're Fairbanks and try to settle in and keep the Jays off the board.
There's ball 4.
I tell you, every time they put another run up with Mason Mayfield on the mound, it's just more difficult for Catholic High because Mayfield is just not the type of pitcher that you're going to put a lot of big innings together against. He keeps the ball down, gets a lot of ground balls, throw strikes. A lot of times at the high school level, the big innings start because of walks, hit by pitches, errors, and he's just not that kind of guy on the mound. So, Catholic High has got to really be careful right here. It's already 2-0. You go down 3-4 runs. I don't know.
In particular with Nick Ray at the plate, who homered to left center his first time with 2 on 1 out here. All big situations, but this is pretty big early on in this game for the Bears. And a wheel towards second. Fool me once, you won't fool me twice, right? They got Tay-Bears earlier. This time, runner playing it pretty close to the vest, making sure that doesn't happen. That's Bryce Musso, by the way, courtesy runner. And there is the pickoff move and hits Musso. He's back to the bag. That's a move that they obviously work on significantly.
Yeah, they pay attention to runners at second. There's a lot of teams that don't, but you can tell that Catholic High practices it. They worry about it. They work on it. And they have a plan with those middle infielders of how they're going to try to keep guys tight at second base.
Pitches a breaking ball that just missed down. 1-0 to Ray. Trying to work him off speed. Probably a good idea. 1 ball and no strikes on Nick, who now has 5 home run and 25 driven in. First and second, 1 out, and stepping off is Fairbanks. Couldn't have a better weather evening. I'm hoping this isn't the last cool air weekend we have of the year until the winter comes, because this is so nice. There's a breaking ball that sits high, and it's 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. That pitch is high. It's where it crosses the plate. It's a slow breaking ball, and it's clearly high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
And that's dangerous because most of the time so far when he's thrown that pitch, he's leaving it up high.
Right.
And I tell you what, if that's a little bit lower, that's so hang 'em, bang 'em, especially for Nick Ray.
And again, Fairbanks taking a lot of time. He's stepping off quite a bit. Hitters are stepping out, stretching. The 2-0 pitch, and that is down. So it's 3 balls and no strikes to Ray with Théberge on deck. I know it sounds strange, but in the back of the mind of Brad Bass, he might not be too unhappy if he walks Ray here, especially with Bruglio not in the lineup, right? Here's the 3-0.
I mean, that's obviously a better
strike call, 3-1.
Better case with Bruglio not coming up there, but Théberge swings it well, and I mean, you have him loaded with 1 down. You're a double away from being down 4-0.
3-1 the count. Check of the runners and another pitch on the way. That's down, so he did walk him, and the bases are loaded for Jesuit with 1 out for Mark Théberge here in the first, or rather in the second, pardon me. And a visit to the mound once more, and Joey Latino will talk to Théberge. Now, would you even think about the bunt here in this situation?
No.
Okay.
No, you're playing to blow this thing open right now. They just try to take it to them and take their heart away from them early in the game. I mean, the bottom line is that, if Jesuit puts a bunch of runs on the board, and this is a pitch and change already. He just didn't have it, and if you get him out,
it was pretty obvious.
Getting him out early gives you the chance to possibly get him back in a 3rd game. Tomorrow he might be able to come back in a relief appearance for you since you got him out fairly quickly today. But the bottom line is we can put 4 to 6 runs on the board. I mean, it's going to be really, really tough.
Brady Sarton will take over, the left-hander coming to take over on the mound here in a tough situation. A left-hander with the bases loaded and 1 out in this situation. Sarton taking over for the Bears, and tell us a little bit about him.
Well, he's a senior left-hander. He's been used in a lot of different roles this year. They've used him as a starter, a middle reliever, and a closer. So he's been a guy that they've looked to do multiple things on the mound, and it's kind of using a little strategy here, going lefty on lefty, making the change as Théberge is getting ready to come up for the Jays. So we have bases loaded, 1 out, and lefty on lefty matchup.
Can't close the book on Fairbanks yet, obviously, because he is responsible for all 3 base runners here. And Sarton takes over in a tough situation. He's been a solid pitcher, 10 appearances on the year, 5 starts, and he is 4-1 with a 4.59 earned run average. Has 1 complete game and 1 save, 1 shutout as well. 29 innings pitched. Now, he's allowed 31 hits, so more hits than innings pitched. 24 runs, 19 earned. Now, he's only walked 8, so his command is good, and struck out 36. Very good ratio. And he's hit 4 batters. Sarton warming up. Tall left-hander, stands tall on that mound, and he'll give Jesuit a totally different look here from the left side. And, that's important when you give a team a different look with your first option out of the pen. And, of course, it'll become a lefty-lefty matchup as well.
Lefty-lefty matchup, and Sarton knows how to get it done in tight spots. At a big relief appearance against Hanville in Game 2 of the series last week. The Catholic had to win to force Game 3, which they did. So he's come into the fire before here in the state playoffs this year.
So here's Théberge on the plate. He was hit by a pitch back in the first. He got picked off at second, which turned out to be a pretty important play in the first inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. They're in at the corners. Double play depth up the middle. Sarton from the belt and to the plate. And that's outside for a ball. Ball and no strikes. Théberge back in. He's driven in 10 on the season. Outfield stays the same as they have throughout. Straight up, bunch towards center. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Théberge takes a strike. It's 1-1. One ball and 1 strike. Bases loaded, 1 out, 2-0 Jesuit here in the top of the second inning. Sarton with the 1-1. Big breaking ball sits high. It's been another outstanding year of athletics here at Catholic High. They've had success across the board, but that's typically the case Terrific athletic program here. 2-1 the count. And that missed away, so there's no room at the end, and it's 3 balls and a strike to Bears. Of course, Bears won the football state championship I alluded to. Basketball playoffs, good team. Wrestling, another good season for Tommy Prohaska. Track and field, always a power going on right now as we speak. 3-1 the count. Has to throw a strike, and he does, and it's fouled over toward the Jesuit dugout. So it's full 3-2. So, dare I say it, a very important pitch here in the game.
Oh, huge pitch right here. Huge, huge, huge. 3-2 pitch, 1 out. You know, for Catholic, can you get to 2 outs where you're a pitch away from getting out of this jam? If you're Jesuit, you know, can you strike here with the bases loaded?
On 3-2, Sargent ready. Long look. And the payoff pitch on the way. Fouled out of play. Let's do it again. Holding at 3-2. Things moving rather slowly here early in this game because you've had traffic on the bases. Sargent again getting the sign from Lambert and ready to work from the stretch with a check. And finally, time call. He really held the stretch position for a long time. Once again is ready. Another long pause. And finally the payoff pitch. And a fly ball into left center field should get a run home. Center fielder, left fielder converge. Center fielder dove, and he caught the ball for the out. Runner tags from third and scores. And it's a 3-0 lead for Jesuit. Krafasi, a very good play and a tough chance because, again, that sun field in left field, it's very obvious that Welch just can't spot the ball.
No, he had to come a long way to make that catch. Easy tag and score for Jesuit. So good situational hitting there. Biggest thing, definitely a catch, and the biggest thing there for Jesuit is that you didn't hit it on the ground on the infield. You didn't give him a chance to turn 2 and get out of there. Bears got a pitch that he could lift and get it out to the outfield, allowing that runner to tag and score.
3-0 Blue Jays. 2 on, 2 outs now for Fuentes, who struck out swinging his first time, and he takes a good breaking ball. Just missed the outside edge down, I guess. 1-0. Pretty good pitch. 1-0 the count.
You know, the Blue Jays giving Mason Mayfield some nice run support here early on.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1.
Fuentes swung right over the top of that fastball.
Of course, the run charged to the starter, Brian Fairbanks. 1 ball and 1 strike. Great news for Riverside. They just beat Ouachita Christian 5-2. Game 1 of that series in Monroe. That is a team that is really hot at the right time. Boy, you talk about a team that changed directions in midseason. It's all about the fact that they played such a tough schedule early on, Dan.
Yeah, they played a 5A type schedule early on, and some of the Riverside parents were asking Coach Gazzo if they went over their head, and he told them, just hang tight, hang on, we know what we're doing. They're battle tested now.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. And a fly ball hit to center pretty well again. Center fielder back, has a play, making the catch is Krafasi, and the inning is over. 2 runs cross the plate on a couple of hits. No errors, 2 stranded. Jesuits left 3. We go to the bottom of the second. It's the Blue Jays 3 and the Bears nothing. And you are watching the quarterfinals in 5A at SportsNoah.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Bottom of the second inning, and a 3-0 lead for Jesuit over Catholic. Ken Trahan with Danny Reen from Grizzly Field. Mason Mayfield only needed 10 pitches to get out of the first, even though he walked the leadoff man. And here in the second, Mayfield will deal with Tristan Welch to get it started, the cleanup hitter. And he will be followed by Daniel Gilbo and Connor Bowen. Welch at .333, a homer and 18 driven in. First pitch from Mayfield. Tap foul behind the plate. Gets ahead of Welch. Tristan Welch, senior. Right-handed swinger, 0-1 the count. Pitch. That sits high from Mayfield, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Welch, a preferred walk-on at LSU Unison baseball next year. He, of course, was a member of that state championship football team. Some guy coached that team. I don't know. I don't know. They were so talented, you could have coached them, man. Swing and a miss. It's 1 and 2. Our friend Jay Roth doesn't want to hear that at all. So, true story though. And I told Dale, as disappointed as they were, they didn't feel like they played their best. They got beat by a team that played better than them that night. But Jay and Phil Greco both said, as crazy as it sounds, we're happy because that's such a good man. He's such a class act, and sometimes you want to see good people have good things happen, and that was the case when Catholic won the state championship in football this past year. 2-2 count is driven deep to left. That one's got legs. That ball's gone. Tristan Welch on a 2-2 pitch has homered to left, and he's cut the deficit to 3-1 as the lights come on. So Welch got that ball out of here in a hurry, Danny.
Got out of here in a hurry. That was a no-doubter off the bat of Welch right down the left field line here at Catholic High. But just to put this in perspective quickly, you're in the bottom of the second inning of game 1. You've already got 3 home runs. So, you know, if that's a sign of things to come, this will be an offensive wild series.
Number 4, Daniel Gilbo.
Ball really carrying, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it gets up in the air, and it's just going and going here at Catholic High. It's pushing the baseball.
Daniel Gilbo takes it high for ball 1. Gilbo 303, no homers, 25 driven in. Benton and West Washita tied 1 after 4 innings. There's a ball down, so it's 2 balls and no strikes to Gilbo. 3-1 lead here in the second inning for Jesuit, and just like that, here's Joey Latino to the mound. Just a little bit of a maintenance call here to say, all right, it's okay. Still got the lead. Stick with the plan. Throws. Did I get that right?
That's it. I mean, you've got a lead here. That's the nice thing about it. If you're Jesuit, is let's not, compound that. Let's not allow them to get something going here. Let's bear down, pretend like we're restarting the inning with nobody out, nobody on, and make sure that we keep it at that 1 run.
Two and 0 the count. Here it is. And there's a tapper foul over toward the on-deck circle. Look out. It's 2-1. 2 balls and a strike on Gilbo. The lights start to take effect here. Go over the outside edge. It's 2-2.
That's the whole thing as a pitcher in this game. Is a lot of times it's how you respond to adversity.
2-2 pitch. Drive to left. This one's hit pretty well. Left fielder toward the gap and closing on it nicely and seeing it well, I might add, to make the catch is Sefcich, round number 1. Now, Sefcich looks like he's got shades on, and he saw that ball off the bat and had a good jump and made the play.
Yeah, he did, and he made a nice play, but that ball, by the time Sefcich caught it, maybe took another step or two, he was right up by the wall in left center. So it just seems like every ball that's hit up in the air is either going to the wall or out of the park.
First pitch is a strike called to Connor Bowen, the DH. Bowen at 263, no homers and 8 driven in. It's a little different game than Jesuit's used to having at John Ryan, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Swinging a foul tip at the plate, snared by Schmidt. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2 pitch. High and away. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Bowen. Etheridge on deck. One ball and 2 strikes. Ready to work. Here it comes from Mayfield. Strike 3 call. Good pitch. And that's out number 2. And that's strikeout number 1 for Mayfield, who now deals with Will Etheridge.
Oh, nice job of responding by Mayfield, and that's what I'm sure that mound conference was about, is let's not allow them to homer. It was a solo homer. Let's flush it. Let's get back to business, and Mayfield able to get the fly out in the gap, and then the strikeout right there. 2 outs now, nobody on.
Here's Etheridge, the second baseman, and the pitch from Mayfield. And that's a strike to get ahead.
And that's going to be very important for really all the pitchers this entire series, is to try to locate down in the zone and try to get ground balls, because balls up in the air here are pretty scary.
Foul tip, and it's 0-2.
And they could leave the park very easily with these dimensions, and especially today with this wind blowing out.
No balls and 2 strikes, and another on the way. Bounced that one. That's about a 54-footer. It's 1-2. Mayfield laughs. I mean, what are you going to do? 1-2 the count. Josh Hentz looking at him like, hey, man, I'm not a goalie in hockey. That's a mask save by Schmidt. 1-2 the count. For a guy with really good control, that's a strange pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mayfield ready. Here's another on the way. And that's fly toward left, slicing toward the line. That's trouble. It could drop, and it will. For a base hit, it kicks away. Runner for second, and he will be there with a double. So Etheridge bloops a double to left, and the tying run will come to the plate.
That ball was hit in the right spot. Just right off the bat, you knew it was going to be trouble. So far into the outfield that the infielders really didn't have a play on it. And from Sepsich that it was able to fall in there. So Catholic High mounting a little something here, answering the bell, so to speak, here in the bottom of the second inning after being down 3-0. Now it's 3-1 with a tying run at the plate.
And the catcher, Brennan Lambert, who takes a strike call. We mentioned their lineup depth. Lambert at 308 in the 8th spot with 19 runs driven in. One in the dirt, bounces away. Schmidt will not be able to make a play. On the third, on the wild pitch goes Etheridge, and the count is 1-1.
Nice base running there by Etheridge to read the down angle, ball in the dirt. He was off and moving as soon as he realized that that ball was going to hit out in front of the catcher, Schmidt. By the time Schmidt could get to the blocked up baseball, he was easily in third.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Grounded towards short. Ray will get there. Tough hop, but he's got it, and he'll gun him out, and the inning is over. So 1 run and 2 hits. A runner stranded. The first left by the Bears. We've played 2. Jesuit 3, Catholic 1. And you are watching the 5A quarterfinals on SportsNoah.com, presented by First NBC Bank. It's 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 3 left for Jesuit. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left Catholic. As we head to the top of the 3rd inning, Brady Sarton, who pitched out of a jam in the 2nd. In relief, Brian Fairbanks will work in the 3rd, too. Stephen Sepsich, Austin North, and Connor McGinnis. Brian Fairbanks, the starter, went an inning and a 3rd. He allowed 3 runs on 3 hits, walked 2, struck out 2. Had a wild pitch and hit a batter. Could lose, cannot win. This one has a long way to go. And based on what we've seen, we thought runs might be in a premium before it started. My thinking has switched dramatically.
Yeah, I mean, the dimensions of this park, it's playing really, really small, and this could be a wild series.
Sepsic will get it started against Sargent in the third. His first look at the left-hander. Sepsic walked in the first against the starting pitcher, Brian Fairbanks.
Batting number 27, Steven Sepsic.
Shadows now covering pretty much the entire infield and much of the outfield except for the extreme left. Here's the pitch. Sails outside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. And that's a strike over the outside edge. It's 1-1. Steven Sepsic, a junior at 6'2", 195 pounds. The 1-1 pitch. And missing down and in. It's 2-1.
Well,
2 balls and a strike.
This is a chance for Sargent to kind of be in charge of an inning for the first time. You know, he came into the tough spot in the second, but this is a chance for him to kind of take over this game and do his thing the rest of the way here. So we'll see if he can pitch well enough to keep Catholic within striking distance.
2 balls and a strike. Sepsic back in. And the 2-1 pitch on the way. Off speed, good pitch, dropped it in there for a strike. It's even 2-2. Sargent definitely giving Jesuit a different look. Not a hard thrower from the left side after a right-hander that could throw pretty hard, who started the game. 2 balls, 2 strikes, another on the way. Sepsic swings and grounds one to short. Smith has to get it on the move, throws across the body, safe at first. That's an infield hit. So a base hit for Steven Sepsic. Even a good throw, I don't think, gets him there. And Smith, who can make all the plays that time, too tough of a play toward the hole. Ball wasn't hit hard enough, and he had to make that play in one motion, Danny, and just could not make it.
It's just another example of hitting the ball in the right spot. He, circled it up and got the throw off from the side, and Sepsic runs well. He's a pretty good outfielder, so he's got some speed there, and he's able to get through the base. So here's Jesuit, the leadoff man, on in the third, and they just keep the pressure on offensively.
Austin North lined softly to second to end the first inning. Sepsic a lead, and the pitch squares to bunt and took it outside for ball 1.
Well, and that's the thing that I thought we might see there was a potential sac bunt attempt, just because of the fact that, if you're Jesuit, you've been able to put 3 runs on the board. So with a Mason Mayfield on the mound, it's almost like a tack-on kind of thing now. Can we get the 4? Can we get the 5? Can we get the 6? And so on.
From the bell to the plate. Strike is called. It's 1-1. No bunt there. Showed bunt on the first pitch. So 1-1 the count. Coach Latino wasn't bunting in the first when he was playing for the big inning. On 1-1. Moved to first, and now you can see why he thought that way with the way the ball's flying here tonight. One ball and 1 strike. 1 on, nobody out here in the top of the third. Jesuit up 3-1. And the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball over the outside corner for a strike. It's 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. Sargent looking in for the sign from Lambert. Now with a check of Sepsic, who has a good lead. The pitch, and there he goes. Pitch is down and out, and he'll steal it. Well, you can see Sepsic had a very good lead there. And the pitch carrying down and out gave Lambert no chance at all. And Sepsic, with aggressive base running, steals his 9th of the year, 2nd on the team.
Keeping the pressure on. That's really the name of the game at the high school level, is constant pressure on the opponent. Leads to a lot of mistakes, and it leads to a lot of runs scored.
Now, can North get him home, or can he get him over? 2-2 the count. Here it comes. Ground ball is short. Runner will advance to third. The play to first. Smith gets his man. Ground number 1, but North makes contact and gets the runner advanced. Good baseball.
Good base running there by Sepsic to read that the ball was hit slow enough that he could make the break in front of it and move up to third. So situational hitting now. We saw it last inning with Tay Bears up with the bases loaded, less than 2 outs. And here's another situation where a man on third, less than 2 outs. And you've got to focus on the situation. The infield is back in the middle, so you'd like to try to get a ground ball past the mound or a fly ball the outfield or a hit.
Connor McGinnis takes the strike call. He hit the home run to straightaway center his first time against the starting pitcher, Brian Fairbanks. And right about now, he'd just like to put it in play up the middle on the ground or hit it in the air to the outfield with the infield back at second and short.
Sepsich has got to be looking for a ball getting away from the catcher every pitch.
Tap foul at the plate. It's 1-2, and you say that because I wanted
really
to because
backstop.
I was just about to say that there's a ton of room between home plate and the backstop. 0-2 the count.
Really deep backstop here at Catholic High. If the ball gets past the catcher, it can go quite a ways. So that's something that when you're on third base as a base runner, you're looking for that every pitch. I always tell our guys, pretend like it's going to happen each pitch. That's the way when it does, you're not surprised by it.
Down and out for a ball. It's 1-2. McGinnis clearly wants to put it in play. Sarton clearly would like the strikeout in this situation. 1-2 the count. Runner at third with 1 out.
The key for Catholic is to get to 2 outs. Pop up on the infield, strike out, something that doesn't allow the runner to score. Get the 2 outs.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Look out, way high and outside. It's 2-2. Shadow just about covering left field now, which will help Welch out there. 2-2 the count. The next one. Breaking ball lined, and that is a fair ball into the right field corner. Extra bases. McGinnis is delivered again. On his way to second. He has a double. Drives home Sepsich, and Jesuit has a 4-1 lead.
Oh, good job there. Going the other way by McGinnis, and this Jesuit offense is performing as well as I think we've seen them perform all year. I mean, they're really doing a nice job here today against Catholic High. You can see that breaking ball down and away, and he goes the other way with it. That's a big knock right there and a big 4th run on the board.
And now another runner in scoring position with only 1 out for Jake Lashardi, who struck out swinging his first time. Waits from the right side. And a breaking ball strike. It's 0-1. No balls and a strike. Sarton delivers. Missed the inside edge down. It's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Blue Jays lead is back to 3 here in the third. Check of the runner and the 1-1 pitch. And that missed down and in again. 2-1. 2 balls and a strike. And the 2-1. Popped him straight up. Short right, second baseman out. Etheridge under it, and he'll put it away. Round number 2 is McGinnis holds second. And now Josh Schmidt will bat. He singled to left his first time.
Josh Schmidt.
Courtesy runner would score in his place. And a 2-run second. Pitch on the way. And that missed down and away for ball 1 to Schmidt. Kind of player that if you get offense from him, boy, is he a plus. It's a bonus because he's so good defensively. And they got a single from him the first time. They love a 2-out hit here. Trying to add to a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, his arm's really strong. He does a nice job behind the plate defensively. So anytime you get offensive production from a catcher of that quality, it's a really nice thing.
Swing and a miss makes it 1 ball and 1 strike. Schmidt is senior, 5'9", 165. 1 ball and 1 strike. A run home here in the top of the third inning. the next one on the way. Breaking ball, and that is just high, and it's 2-1 again. That breaking ball that drops toward the top of the strike zone, but crosses the plate a bit high, and he hasn't called that pitch all evening to this point.
No, I mean, it's crossing the hitters pretty high in the zone. It's breaking down, but it's not crossing them as a strike.
2 balls and a strike. Again, and that is a strike called. It's 2-2.
That was a good one. Hell of a better release point there, did Sarton. And that one was able to break soon enough for a called strike.
2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Right here, 2 outs.
Schmidt waiting. Sarton turns towards second. Nobody holding him on. Shortstop Smith flashing a battery of signs, though. 2-2 the count. And the next one, way high with a fastball. It's full 3-2. Jesuits had a lot of traffic on the bases early in this game, and it's really split the attention of the pitchers for Catholic. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the payoff pitch to Schmidt, ball 4. And it will be 2 on 2 outs for Mark Beebe, who walked his first time. And has an opportunity here.
22, Mark Beebe.
He's driven in 6 on the year. Beebe, a big RBI single in the Game 3 win over Destrehan, which tied the game at the time when they were losing 1-0. So here's Beebe. Courtesy runner is Bryce Musso at first for Jesuit. Sarton turns towards second. I've seen as much of that from Catholic early in this game as I've seen all season long.
They pay attention to runners at second base. That's obviously something that the coaching staff believes in and they really work at.
First pitch to Beebe, and that is a strike at the knees, 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Runner at second, McGinnis. Runner at first, Musso. And another pitch from Sarton. And that's high, and it's 1-1. One and one the count. They've had the Nolas here. They've had the Masseys here. They've got some pretty serious family ties that have produced big time for this program at Catholic over the last several years. 1-1. Sails outside and high. It's 2 balls and a strike. So 2-1 now. And of course, we get the pleasure of having a chance to see Austin Nola play for the Zephyrs on a regular basis in New Orleans. 2 balls and a strike. Runners away first and second. Sarton once more from the belt. Boy, he takes a long pause on the pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Now that long pause, that certainly freezes runners. If you're a hitter, don't you consider stepping out?
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep your eye on that as a hitter. You don't want to let them freeze you in that box.
Correct.
You know, you need to. If it takes too long, call for time, but you got to make sure you get it. Make sure you get it before you get out of there. But
Deuce is wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 outs, and the next pitch on the way. And Beebe swings and hits it to the sure hands of Smith. He'll go across the diamond to take care of Beebe and Jesuit in the third. Blue Jays get a run on 2 hits, and they strand 2 more. They've left 5 already. We go to the bottom of the third. It's Jesuit 4 and Catholic 1. And you're watching the 5A quarterfinals here on SportsNoah.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Bottom of the third, 4-1 Jesuit on top of Catholic. Ken Trahan with Danny Ream, a couple of other scores. They go to the top of the seventh. It's Bruley 4 and Lutcher 2 in 3A. Also in that class, West Washita leading Benton 3-1. They go to the top of the sixth inning.
Third for the Bears, center fielder, number 12, Patrick Crafassi.
Patrick Crafassi will lead it off here in the third. Crafassi, the center fielder, at 371, 18 RBI. His first at bat of the game against Mayfield, who's thrown 30 pitches in 2 innings. He has 1 strikeout and delivers high for a ball. He's one as well. Top of the order with Johnson and Fairbanks to follow. Here is the 1-0 pitch, and that's way outside and high. 2 balls and no strikes to Crafassi.
Well, what you want to be doing right here if you're Mason Mayfield is really pounding the zone. Got that 4-1 lead. Throw strikes, play some defense here. You don't want to give him a leadoff walk.
2-0. That's down. So 3 balls and no strikes, especially when you got the top of the order to follow.
Just to bear down and throw strike 1 right here and build on that.
With the way the ball is carrying tonight, you do not want to give free base runners. There's a strike called. It's 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. And another on the way. Ball 4 high, so Crafassi is on with a leadoff walk here in the third. That's the second given by Mayfield. That's pretty high total for him early in the game.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, as a senior, the type of pitcher that he is, got to really understand the situations that you're in. And that's something that you really don't want to do there. You don't want to walk the 9-hole hitter leading in and off.
Cole Johnson walked his first time. Remember, he was down 0-2 and came back and drew a walk. And he takes a strike here. It's 0-1. Crafassi, the runner down at first base. And he can run. Crafassi, 18 stolen, 19 attempts. It's like having a second leadoff hitter, isn't he? Fouled out of play left side. It's 0-2. Kind of looking for that showdown between Schmidt and their base runners. But again, Mayfield is very quick to the plate. Jesuit pitchers as a whole do a good job of combating the running game of opposing teams. No balls and 2 strikes. Mayfield ready and pitching. Fouled out of play left side. Johnson battling. Don't park too close. That's all I can tell you. There's a lot of cars parked over there in that direction. I feel relieved to tell you that I'm not one of them. 0-2. Crowds him at the letters. It's 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. Stretch and the 1-2. Grounded towards short. Ray will step on second, throw to first. What a play. Stretch at first, got him. What a job by Ray, showing you his skill. What a job stretching by Lasciardi to maintain contact to get the double play against a speedy runner in Johnson. Second double play turn by Jesuit.
Well, that was a big play right there because it erases the leadoff walk of the 9-hole. So big time right there by Mason Mayfield. We talked about it. Does a great job of getting ground balls. That one hit right at Ray. A couple steps to the bag. Gets the throw off. Good stretch by Lasciardi. And 2 out, nobody on.
Swing and a miss by Brendan Fairbanks, who grounded into a fielder's chase his first time. 0-1 the count. That's a strike at the knees. Good pitch from Mayfield. It's no balls and 2 strikes. As the shadows now cover the entire field, I think we're done with the sun problems. No balls and 2 strikes. Center fielder BB shifts over into right center. The pitch way outside. Of course, when you see him shift like that, it's a clear indication where they're going to pitch him.
Yeah, that's something to pay attention to. You know, a lot of times just picking up on subtle things like that goes a long way.
1-2 the count. Another pitch from Mayfield. Fairbanks grounds it foul over toward the Catholic dugout. And it holds it 1-2. Interesting that BB shifted back toward almost straight away. So he's moving on almost every pitch. Now he starts to sneak over again. 1-2 the count. Another on the way. And that one hit him. Or did it hit the bat?
He said he stuck it.
He stuck it. He stuck his arm into it and didn't try to avoid it, and that's going to be contested by Brad Bass. Of course, you get neutral umpires in these games, being in the state playoffs. So that'll just go as a dead ball, and it's 1-2, and Fairbanks will stay at the plate. It's an off-speed. I guess he's saying he didn't try to avoid it, basically, and so it's tough. And as a result, hitter will stay at the plate. Coach Bass heading back toward the dugout. Dugouts, by the way, are a pretty long way from home plate. They're well down the baselines, receded as well here at Grizzly Field. 1-2 the count. Fairbanks waiting from the right side. And another pitch from Mayfield. Foul back to the screen. He battles a pitch up in the zone. Fouls it off. Another pitch on the way from Mayfield. Tapper foul. This is a good battle here as Fairbanks continues to fight off pitches. He's fouled off 3 with 2 strikes.
Well, this is an at-bat that is big for both sides, really, with 2 outs, because, you know, if you're Jesuit, if you can, you know, retire Fairbanks and end the inning right here, that means Smith is going to lead off the bottom of the 4th, and obviously if he's leading off, that means nobody's on base, and that's a big thing. That's how you want him coming up there.
This is hit hard but foul down the third base line.
You know, if you're Catholic High, you'd love to see a runner get on. That brings Smith to the plate. And, you know, man on first, second, 2 outs. You know, they're going to pitch to him there. Give you a chance at 1 swing of the bat to possibly make it 4-3. So, you know, if you're Jesuit, you want to get out of this. If you're Catholic High, you really want to try to get Fairbanks on right here.
2-2 the count. Battling continuing between Mayfield and Fairbanks. Another pitch. Another tap foul. So he's fouled off 5 pitches with 2 strikes. So he's about to see the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Mayfield had a 10-pitch first inning. He's had a 10-pitch at-bat here. 2-2 the count. And another. Fouled back. Let's do it again. Pitch number 11 of the at-bat coming.
Well, I mean, this is important here just from a pitch count perspective. You're only in the bottom of the 3rd. So you're elevating that pitch count on a starting pitcher. So, you know, this is a really quality at-bat. And if you're Catholic, boy, would you love to get him on and get Smith to the plate.
Another 2-2 offering, and that's down, so it's full 3-2. So this would be the 12th pitch of the at-bat. 13th pitch, I'm sorry. 13th. 3-2 the count. Fairbanks waits and Mayfield steps off. Also important because, again, Jesuits down Brandon Bruglio. So their pitching depth is cut into severely. Ground ball toward third. That is another foul ball. So we'll see a 14th pitch in this at-bat. Mayfield can't get the ball by him, and Fairbanks can't put it in play. So it holds at 3-2. This at-bat in the grand scheme of this game, as you alluded to, because sometimes the effects don't show up for a bit. Could be immediate, but could be down the road, extending a pitcher. 14th pitch of the at-bat. This might be the longest at-bat we've seen this year.
I think
here it is. And a pop-up foul. This might be playable over toward the Jesuit dugout. It is, and it's not played. Lashardi was contending with the wall, and he did not make the play. So we'll see a 15th pitch in the at-bat.
Wow. Absolutely. I would say the longest at-bat that we've seen in any game we've done this year. We've done a bunch of them. And really outstanding by Fairbanks to give his offensive team this kind of at-bat to lift a starter's pitch count by at least, well, 16 pitches here by yourself in one at-bat. That's pretty outstanding. If he could get on base, it's even better.
and a swing and a foul, and we do it again.
This is gonna be like an inning in one at bat. This is gonna be like a whole inning. You talk about starting pitchers trying to be around 15 or so pitches for an inning.
This is the 16th pitch of the at bat. So longest I've seen this year. It's one of the longest I've seen in a long time at any level. And as you know, I watch a lot of baseball. 3-2 the count. Can Mayfield keep throwing strikes? Fairbanks has seen everything, and he swings and fouls it out of play. So we'll see a 17th pitch in the at bat. Remarkable. Mayfield might be thinking, why don't just walk this guy, get him out of there, man.
Yeah, but then you bring Josh Smith to the plate after you just threw 20 pitches to one guy.
It's crazy, man. 7 to the at bat is coming up. 3-2 the count. Crazy stuff. Here it is, and he pops it foul again toward the screen. No play. So we'll see an 18th pitch of the at-bat. Look at Fuentes at third, just took his cap off and kind of hung his head down saying, wow. And Mayfield is like, all righty then, what can I throw this guy? 3-2 the count. What a job by Fairbanks, and Mayfield for that matter, having to throw strike after strike. Here it is, and a ground ball to deep short. Ray surrounds it, gloves it, guns it, got him. Big time arm there, and the inning is over. What a battle that was. 8 pitches, inning over. A walk, nobody left after 3. Jesuit 4 and Catholic 1. And you're watching the 5A quarterfinals at SportsNOLA.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Some battle there, and 18 pitches later, Mayfield gets Fairbanks to ground out to short. We go to the fourth, 4-1 Jesuit over Catholic. Ken Trahan, Danny Ream with you. That was a 33-pitch inning for Mayfield because of that 18-pitch at bat. Barb leads Sandoval 3-0 after 4 innings.
Just got a text on that one. Barb hasn't hit a ball out the infield. They're up 3-0.
Don't have to with that pitching and with the way they execute. And their pitching is dynamite. They don't give up runs. Can't lose that way. Here's Nick Ray to lead it off. Took it high and away, ball 1. Ray led off the game with a home run to start things well for Jesuit. Then he walked in the second. 1 ball and no strikes. Sun setting here in Baton Rouge on a beautiful evening. And here's the 1-0 from Sarton. And that missed the outside edge, 2-0. A lot of off-speed stuff to Ray.
Yeah, that's smart, too, because he can drill fastballs. So you got to be able to mix it up, spot up against Nick Ray to have success.
2-0 pitch. Ray chops it up the middle. That's going to be a tough chance. The baseman can't get it. So Ray is on. That would have been a tough chance with the ball not hit that hard and having to go up the middle. That's and it's going to be a runner reaching on Ray's ground ball up the middle. I'd say probably an infield hit, right?
Yeah, I'd say a hit.
So an infield hit for Ray. Tough chance. If he makes that play, to throw out Ray would have been very tough up the middle. So Ray is aboard with an infield single, and Tabears will bat. He's been hit by a pitch, and he's sacrificed. 6th hit of the game for Jesuit. Tabears may be bunting here. Squares, took it down. Good stop by Lambert to keep Ray at first. 1 ball and no strikes. Long look by Sarton. Boy, he pauses for a long time, doesn't he? And a move to first. So they clearly work very hard on holding runners, and they work very hard on pickoff moves. Speaking of the Bears, well-coached team. 1 ball and no strikes. And another. Squares to bunt, and he bunts it toward the mound. The play will be to first. Sacrifice works. He thought about second, but again, that's a catcher's job to let him know.
Well, Nick Ray took off really early, considering that bunt was in the air for a little while. He was off and going, so luckily for Jesuit, that was able to fall in.
So runner to second with 1 out for Hayden Fuentes, who has struck out and flied to center. He's driven in 21 runs, though, on the season. Check of the runner at second. And Sarton again turns towards second. Ray, of course, Jesuit's leader in stolen bases with 10. Runs well. Smith, his counterpart, jockeying behind him. Now the pitch. Tapper slowly foul. Third base side. That hit off the foot. It's 0-1. Fuentes will walk it off. Again, Jesuit playing without its best player, leading hitter, and undefeated pitcher Brandon Bruglio, who injured his ring finger at practice yesterday and will not play in this series. That's a ring finger on his throwing hand. No balls and a strike. Pickoff move to second. Ray's in good shape there. Back easily. I would imagine Jesuit would bump up Richard Oob to pitch game 2 tomorrow. Normally would be their third starter. If it went to 3 games, Danny, I would imagine they'd probably have to go to Todd Crabtree, who's accustomed to being their closer of late.
Yeah, and then, you've got Davis Martin maybe in there somewhere, too.
There's a drive to left field, hit high. Left fielder has a play, though. Back a few steps, and there to make the catch is Welch on a loud fly ball to left. Fuentes is retired for out number 2. You see that ball get up that high, and you start to wonder.
Start wondering. That's what I was.
But the wind has really kind of calmed down here. It was blowing pretty hard earlier, but not so much now. So didn't get any real help there. 2 gone for Steven Sepsich, who's walked, singled, stolen a base, scored a run.
Yeah, that ball went up pretty high, and you're kind of sitting there saying, well, will it? Might, maybe. No, he's going to camp under it. So, I mean, it's just the nature of this park. It's everything that goes up in the air. Looks like it might have a shot.
Sepsich took a good breaking ball from Sarton for strike 1. Sepsich with 16 RBI on the season. No balls and a strike. Sarton turns towards second. I mean, this is a regular ritual. First of all, Jesuits at second all afternoon or evening. Secondly, Catholic has more pickoff moves and looks to second than any team I've seen by far. Here's the 0-1. That's down a ball, and it's 1-1. They got a guy at shortstop who's a captain of this infield, and Smith, and he does a lot of this on his own in terms of being able to hold runners on and call plays. And he does it on a regular basis. 1-1 the count. And another pitch. Fouled, right side. And it's 1-2. Sepsis tried to wait on that slow breaking ball. He kept his hands back and lashed at it, but was late, and it's 1-2.
And you'll see Smith in between pitches giving signs to the pitcher. And that's basically calling looks, the pickoff that you want to potentially go with if you're going to go off a 1 look, a 2 look. If you're going to just show open glove.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Pickoff moved to second, and that was pretty close. A little bit of daylight, but Ray got back. Good peg to the bag, right on the bag by the left-hander Sarton. One and 2 on Sepsich. And another turn towards second. Ray had a pretty big lead that he was extending there. And Sarton turned that way to try to keep him close. A ball and 2 strikes. And another. Missing down and out. It's 2 and 2. Ray is taking more liberties than anybody that's been out there at second thus far.
Yeah, he's getting out there, and they're keeping an eye on him, but he's a really good athlete, so he might be one of the ones that can do that and be okay. 2
balls and 2 strikes. With 2 outs, Sepsich waits. Sarton delivers. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Breaking ball inner portion, no runs and a hit. Jesuit strands its 6th runner. First inning, they don't score in. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still the Blue Jays 4 and the Bears 1. Here on SportsNoah.com, presented by First NBC Bank.
Lutcher got beat.
Bottom of the inning, and a 4-1 lead for Jesuit over Catholic High. Ken Trahan with Danny Ream. You were saying, Danny?
Lutcher got beat 4-2
by Bruley. So Lutcher down a game to nothing in Class 3A. In the quarterfinals to Bruley. The Panthers are a really good team. Jesuit up 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th here, and the Bears will have the heart of the order. 3, 4, and 5 against Mayfield. Josh Smith, Tristan Welch, Daniel Gilbo, and again, remember what happened last inning with that 18-pitch at bat. Mayfield's up to 63 pitches in just 3 innings, and that's a high total.
Oh, big upset in Class 2A. Notre Dame 7, St. Thomas Aquinas 3.
Wow, and that had to be Hunter Stanley. Huge.
Notre Dame with a 1-0 lead in that series.
We saw them last year when St. Charles Catholic eliminated them, and game we had as part of the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase. Pitch missing high and away to Josh Smith, who grounded into a 6-4-3 double play to end the first. Came in as a leading hitter at 370. 1-0 pitch. Breaker missed down at 2-0. Mayfield has walked 2. Struck out 1. And the 2-0 pitch from Mason. And that's a strike. It's 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Sign given. Next pitch. Popped up, foul, out of play. And the count is now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 the count. The next one down. It's full 3 and 2. Three balls and 2 strikes, and the payoff pitch on the way is ball 4. So another leadoff walk. And this is a pattern for Mayfield. That's 3 leadoff walks he's issued in this game, and that's simply not like him.
No, I don't think I've ever seen him do that. Very uncharacteristic, but definitely a problem because, you know, at the high school level, leadoff walks come around the score, and he's played with fire a couple times. Now this is the 3rd time that leadoff man has gotten on via a walk. So Catholic High needs to try to take advantage of this.
This is in the dirt. He falls behind Welch. Of course, Welch hit the line drive home run to left his first time. Jesuit hopes for the double play ball. They've turned a pair in this game. 1-0 the count. But you've got a pitcher on the mound who's not sharp. Certainly not as sharp as we've seen him. And we've seen him a lot. 1-0 the count and the pitch. And that's down. And suddenly he's 2-0 after walking the leadoff man. And there goes Schmidt to the mound. And remember, Jesuit's pitching depth just isn't what it would be. And they're going to get action in the bullpen nonetheless. As Todd Crabtree is going to run down there, it appears. 2-0 the count. They cannot worry about game 2 or game 3 at this stage.
Keep in mind, and we spoke about it, but keep in mind an 18 pitch at bat that Fairbanks had. That was a whole inning sometimes of pitches to just that one hitter.
In 4A, West Washita beat Benton 3-1 in game 1. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that's way outside. So he's not close, and he's 3-0, and he's clearly struggling. We see West Washita early on every year in a tournament in New Orleans, and that's a good program. 3-0 the count. Ready once again. The pitch. As a strike, it's 3-1. Even down 3, I'd be surprised if Welch didn't have the green light here, considering he hit the home run his first time. 3 balls and a strike. Welch waits. Lead from first by Smith. And the 3-1 popped him up into center field. Someone's got to come get it. Beebe on the run, on the run, on the run. He won't get it. That ball drops and hung up forever, and nobody got there. Now that's a ball that somebody's got to catch. That ball was in the air too long.
Somebody's got to get there. I mean, this really isn't that big of a park. No, it's not like you're overly spaced out here. Kind of it looks to me like everything's on top of each other here.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's got to get there.
Well, Ray went out. So, I mean, Ray went out for the ball. He couldn't quite get there. Beebe was very deep because of the home run his first time. He just didn't get there. Now Catholic has the tying run of the play. 2 on, nobody out for Gilbo, who popped out to left his first time, and that's bad luck for Mayfield. That's a ball that's got to be caught. Stretch pitch. Down a ball. And for a pitcher struggling, that's a big item.
Absolutely.
Can't give extra outs.
First and second, nobody out. Catholic High with probably their best offensive opportunity of the night so far. See if they can take advantage of it.
1-0 pitch. Grounded foul. Third base side. It's 1-1. And Mayfield has not been able to throw the ball by these hitters. He's only struck out 1, so ball's being put in play on a consistent basis. No sign of a bunt there. 1-1 the count. 5-hole hitter, but he's driven in 25, so he has the hit privilege. Represents the tying run. 1-1, and a fly ball deep left center field. Left fielder back over his head. Runner is going to round third. He's going to head home. The throw is toward the plate. That's going to be late. It's an RBI double and a 4-2 ball game as Gilbo drives in his 26th run of the year.
That ball was absolutely smoked out into the left center field gap. Smith with a little bit of a late break there. I kind of felt like he could have taken off a little earlier. It was pretty apparent that Sepchich wasn't going to be able to make the play. So because of that, they had to hold up the second runner. Probably should have scored 2 there, but they only scored 1. So that was kind of a break for the Blue Jays.
Joey Latino to the mound, and he's slowly making that walk because he's trying to kill time here. His ace just doesn't have it. I mean, that's pretty obvious. His command isn't there, and he struggled from the get-go. He's battled, but now the tying run's in scoring position with nobody out, and Crabtree's in the bullpen for the Blue Jays, and he's staring. He's kneeling out there watching. He's not throwing at the moment. I don't think he's ready. He just ran down there, the last hitter. So this is just a long conversation on the mound. This is definitely Mayfield's hitter in his game at this point. As Crabtree is not throwing. So second and third, nobody out. And a chance for Connor Bowen to perhaps tie this game. A base hit would do that. Bowen struck out looking in the second inning. The only strikeout Mayfield has recorded. Here's Bowen, and Mayfield will work from the full windup, so the runner at second will get a big jump. And misses down and in, ball 1. I say that because that's the tying run, but as a pitcher, you've got to pitch where you're most comfortable. Mayfield a pitch from the windup, but now looks like he's going to the stretch after one pitch. Interesting. 1-0. Hard hit ball up the middle. The second will get a run home. Play to first. It's a 4-3 ball game. And the RBI ground out by Bowen, who drives in his 9th run of the year. Welch scoring. Gilbo holding second. Out number 1. Good at bat by Bowen.
Well, Welch able to score right there. Probably should have scored on the double. But as I mentioned, Smith got a late start there. And as that double was taking place, Welch almost, he kind of had to slow down. He was ready to overrun Smith and had to stop at third. But there, that grounder to Taberge, able to score that 3rd run that Catholic probably could already had.
Pitch high and away ball to Etheridge, who doubled his first time. Tying run is at second with only 1 out here. As Catholic building the potential big inning. The 1-0. Breaking ball strike. It's 1-1. Crabtree is throwing in the bullpen now for the Blue Jays. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mayfield with another. Down and out, 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Mayfield from the stretch with a check of Gilbo. And the 2-1 pitch. Line drive to second. 1 hop. Taberge caught it. Actually, throw to second. Double play. He caught the ball just before it hit the dirt. And he's able to quickly get it to Ray for the double play. The 3rd double play turn by Jesuit in the game. And the inning is over. But 2 runs for Catholic. And they do it on a couple of hits. No errors and nobody left. We played 4. And it's Jesuit 4 and Catholic 3. And you're watching the 5A quarterfinals at SportsNoah.com, presented by First NBC Bank. In 5A baseball elsewhere tonight, Barb, 2-time defending state champion, leading 3-0 over Santa Ma as they go to the top of the 6th inning of that contest. So Barb up 3-0, top of the 6th on Santa Ma. Here we go to the top of the 5th. It's 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and 6 left for Jesuit. It's 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, and 1 left for Catholic. One of the big numbers in this game is the fact that Jesuit's left 6 on in 4 innings. Catholic has left just 1 on, thanks to Jesuit turning 3 double plays. Jesuits left 6, and they lost a runner on the base pass. Strike called to Austin North. So from Jesuits' perspective, they hope it doesn't come back to bite them, that they have those opportunities. North is lined to second, grounded to short. Took one down from Sarton. It's 1-1. Sarton's done a nice job out of the bullpen for the Bears.
He has. That's what we talked about. Could he settle in, put some zeros on the board, and keep Catholic High close enough to where they can make a little move? And they just did that with 2 in the bottom of the 4th. So now you've got a 4-3 anybody's game here in the 5th.
Pitch down to make it 2 balls and a strike. And now North rolls it toward deep in the hole, cut off by the third baseman, whose throw is good, and that's our number 1. Johnson able to get the slowly hit ball It would have gotten past him. He would have beaten him, but there's no way. It wasn't hit hard enough. Johnson got there and makes the play for out number 1.
Yeah, nice job of coming across. You teach your third baseman anything they can get going to their left to go get it. It's an easier play for the third baseman coming across right there. And Johnson able to make the play.
North retired, and Connor McGinnis bats. He's been the star for Jesuit. Homered in the second to straightaway center. RBI double to right in the third. Swings and fouls this one third base side, so he's going in all directions. No balls and a strike. And again, the different look that Sarton's given Jesuit has definitely settled down the Blue Jays a bit offensively. No balls and a strike. Another on the way. And dropped in there for a strike called. It's 0-2.
He's got the breaking ball working better. He was missing high with it early, but it looks like he's got a nice feel of that pitch now.
No balls and 2 strikes. And the 0-2 pitch on the way. Down and out. It's 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. Next pitch. Swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt. Catcher throws to third. Lambert gets his man. Knocks out number 2. Sarton has retired 5 in a row now. He's really pitching well. And here's Jake Lashardi, who he struck out swinging and popped to second.
Well, right now, you know, the momentum in this game is with Catholic High. They just struck for 2 in the bottom of the 4th. They've made it a 1-run game here in the 5th. They've got 2 outs, nobody on here, trying to put up another 0 in the 5th of Sarton. So you can feel the momentum has shifted in this game. Going to be very important for Jesuit to respond here.
0-1 the count. And the next one from Sarton. Strike 2. So he's on his game. 0-2 the count. The 0-2 pitch. And he checked. He went around. The inning is over. Sarton has retired 6 in a row. And he struck out 3 of the last 4 hitters he's faced. We're on to the bottom of the 5th. It remains Jesuit 4, Catholic 3. And you're watching the 5A quarterfinals at SportsNoah.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Bottom of the 5th inning arrives, and it's 4-3 Jesuit on top of Catholic High, and the Bears will send Brennan Lambert, Patrick Crafassi, and Cole Johnson to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th against Mason Mayfield, who's struggled, but he's battled through 4 innings with 83 pitches. He's walked 3, struck out 1. It's been a battle. 3 double plays turned behind him have really helped. Lambert grounded to short his first time, and he takes it low. And again, he's been fined, which is, again, very uncharacteristic.
Yeah, this is not the usual start that you would expect to see from Mason Mayfield.
And ball 2. Simply cannot locate. 2-0 the count. No action in the Jesuit bullpen at the moment. Crabtree was up earlier.
Going again. He's going to throw a game in the bullpen.
Ball 3 high. So 3-0. He can't find the plate. And again, he has walked the leadoff man 3 times already. And he's in danger of doing it for a 4th time in 5 innings. Strike call, 3-1. And it's just hard to pitch that way when you're putting the leadoff man on virtually every inning. The 3-1 pitch. A chop towards short. Ray has to wait on a hop. He'll have to get rid of it quickly. He does with that strong arm. No problem. One gone.
Nice play.
See the ball going in his direction. Joey Latino, you feel pretty good, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, Nick Ray's just a really nice, smooth player. Got a strong arm, very athletic in his movements out there. You got to feel good when you see those grounders heading that way. You're absolutely right.
One gone for Crafassi, who walked in the third. So he got the leadoff man off this time around. Strike called. So he gets ahead of this hitter, 0-1.
Well, throwing strike one's an important thing at any level of baseball.
Mayfield with the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Kept it down, 0-2.
It allows you to dictate the at-bat, to throw the pitches that you want the hitter to hit. And that's what happened right there. He throws it first strike, then on 0-1, he comes with a breaking ball down on the third. Hitter chases it. Now he's up 0-2.
High and away, 1-2. Show me fastball. A ball and 2 strikes. Another to Crafassi. And he went down and fouled it back. Good at bat. I mean, these Catholic hitters have spoiled a lot of pitches with 2 strikes in this game. That pitch was down in the zone. He had to protect. Very tough to handle, but he got a piece and fouled it off. And it holds at 1-2.
That's what you teach. You want your hitters to be really gutsy at the plate, especially when they
strike
fall
3 call.
behind.
Good pitch over the outside edge. Mayfield gets Crafassi for the second out of the inning.
Good fastball there right on the outside third of the plate. Got the strike call there, but you know, that's what you teach your hitters, to be gutsy, you know, not to give up on their at-bats, to continue to fight hard, foul pitches off, stay alive, try to make something happen. You don't want easy outs in your lineup, so you got to, you know, tip your cap to the way that Catholic High battles at the plate.
Cole Johnson's walked and grounded into a double play. 6-4-3 style. First pitch from Mayfield. High and away for ball 1.
And he knows it. I mean, he's shaking his head. He's looking at Coach Latino. He knows that he is having difficulty locating tonight, and it's very unusual to see.
And he's up again, 2-0. And they really need him because, as mentioned several times previously, they severely lack pitching depth without Brandon Bruglio available in this series. Ball 3 high. So he threatens to put their fastest runner on base, 3-0. Johnson certainly will be taking here on 3-0. He does, and that's a strike. 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch. Cole Johnson fouls it back to the screen. So count is full, 3-2. Mayfield trying to get his first natural 1-2-3 inning of the game. He's faced 3 hitters twice previously, but both times double plays were turned. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs, and the payoff pitch to Johnson. Ball 4, another walk. 4th he's issued, and he puts speed on, and you can bet with 2 outs Johnson wants to run. He's stolen 18 bases. Here comes Joey Latino. Crabtree's in the bullpen. Fairbanks the new hitter. I don't think he'll make the change. It's just a guess. He hasn't looked down in the bullpen at all. It's a slow walk, again giving Crabtree time. And the entire infield comes in. Schmidt goes out there as well. As mentioned, Johnson with 18 steals, a definitive threat to run. And Brendan Fairbanks will be the hitter when play resumes. Jesuit got 1 in the top of the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. Catholic Connor with 1 in the second, 2 in the fourth. It's 4-3 Blue Jays here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And home plate umpire has to break it up. He's going to go to the bullpen. So long, killed as much time as he could. That's going to do it for Mason Mayfield. This is not the scenario Joey Latino wanted at all. Mayfield can only go 4 2/3 innings on a weekend when he's without an undefeated starter in Bruglio. And Tom Crabtree, who's been his closer, is going to have to come in and try to go the rest of the way and try to protect a 1-run lead. Mayfield will depart. Does leave with the lead. Gave up 4 hits, 3 runs in the 4 2/3 innings. He walked 4, struck out 1. Had a wild pitch. And now Todd Crabtree takes over. Crabtree.
New pitcher for the Blue Jays, number 11,
coming on. Crabtree will pitch in his 12th game tonight. 2-2 record and a 1.96 earned run average, and of course a team high 4 saves. Of course, this is one of those where he inherits the game in the 5th inning, so he's trying to win it. Crabtree, 25 innings pitched, and he's allowed 17 hits to this point in the season. And when you look at the walk numbers, 16. That's been the problem. Strikeouts 28, so more strikeouts than innings pitched, but the walks have been an issue. And they've been a problem tonight for Jesuit, period. Crabtree takes over here in the bottom of the 5th with the tying run aboard. And they go ahead and run at the plate in the person of Brendan Fairbanks when play resumes. Different type of game, perhaps, than we expected, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird feel to it. It's hard to get a feel for it. Let's put it that way. It's been hard to get a feel for this game. Jesuit jumps out with 3 in the first 2, and Catholic responds, in a big way in the bottom of the 4th. Sarton to come in behind the starter fairly quickly behind Fairbanks, the Catholic ace, and has settled in and put some zeros on the board. And now Mason Mayfield's leaving way earlier than I thought he would, and Crabtree's in the game. So this has not been the scripted game that you thought you would see the 2 aces going at each other.
Here's Fairbanks, and he took a strike, so Crabtree comes in and gets ahead right away. Fairbanks grounded into a fielder's choice in the first, and he had that 18-pitch at bat in the 3rd that did more to undo Mayfield in this game than anything. Eventually grounded to short, but it was some at bat. 0-1. That's a strike over the inside edge. It's 0-2. And now I will say this, Crabtree is not as quick to the plate as Mayfield, and I'm sure that Catholic is noting that. He's not slow to the plate, mind you, but Mayfield very quick to the plate if you're thinking of running. 0-2 the count. And the pitch. Missing down and out. 1-2. Remember, Fairbanks quickly had 2 strikes on him in his last at bat. And that at bat lasted, I don't know, half the evening. 1-2 the count.
An inning later, he grounded out to short.
And another. Pitch is high, runner going, no throw, stolen base. Just not a good pitch to handle. And they noted, as I said, that Crabtree is not as quick to the plate. Now the tying runs in scoring position. 19 steal for Johnson.
Best hitter lurking in the on-deck circle as well. So this is definitely the guy you want, just like last time.
2 the count. Crabtree from the belt and to the plate. Fairbanks fouls it. Wow. Got a piece of the mask, holding it 2-2. Here we go again with Fairbanks fouling off pitches.
That's a tribute to him.
It really is.
Really fighting so hard in there and trying to make something good happen for his team.
Two and 2 the count. Johnson tying run at second, 2 outs. Crabtree set, time called by the hitter. Boy, we've seen pitchers taking a lot of time tonight, and that has a lot to do with that there have been runners on the base paths all night. And it is nighttime, by the way, in Baton Rouge. 2 and 2 the count. Another pitch. Oh, where was that? Where was that? That got a lot of the plate. Called the ball, and it's full 3 and 2. Wow.
I don't quite know where that one was.
No, I don't either. He made his pitch, no question about that. 3 and 2 the count. Crabtree with the payoff. Got him anyway. Swing and a miss at a fastball. Foul tipped into the mid-inning, over with no runs and no hits. A runner stranded. Catholics left 2. We have played 5, and it is 4-3 Jesuit. And this is 5A quarterfinals on SportsNoah.com. First NBC Bank. We head to the top of the 6th inning. 4-3 lead for Jesuit. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and 6 left Jesuit. It's 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 2 left for Catholic. Josh Schmidt leads it off in the 6th against Sarton, who's done quite a job, and he hits the leadoff man Schmidt in the hip area, and he will go to first. Hit by pitch to start the 6th inning. A base runner for Jesuit, and they'll get a runner once more. Schmidt's been on all 3 times. That's a big plus for Jesuit. And Bryce Musso for bunt at first, and Mark Beebe likely to bunt here. Nobody out.
Well, now you're in the last couple innings of this game. Tight 4-3. Beebe, good athlete, runs well. So more than likely, as you mentioned, you're going to see a bunt. Try to get that runner in the scoring position. If you could get up 5-3, it's a much different game than only being up right now at 4-3.
Squares to bunt and lays it down nicely. Pitcher will have to go to first and gets his man. The sacrifice works. So in the second goes Musso with 1 out, and that will bring Nick Ray to the plate, who's homered, walked, and singled. Barb leads Sandoval 3-0 going to the 7th inning, beating Enloe, the LSU signee. Here's Ray, homered in the first, walked in the second, singled the deep second, back in the 4th. Has driven in 25 runs. Musso a lead. And the pitch. And a hard hit ball is short. And they're going to get him at third by a mile. Just not good base running there. And Jesuit is running to its second out on the bases. That just can't happen in that situation. I mean, that's in a close game. That stuff's going to really get you. I mean, the ball's hit hard right in front of you. That is not a play you run on.
No, I mean, that's something that, you practice time and time again, and those players know that, and that's just a mistake. It's a mistake, and it's a big mistake. Running from second when you're not forced. Ball hit hard at the shortstop. You've got to put the brakes on. Now, earlier in the game, Sepsich moved up on a ball that was hit slow to the shortstop because he saw that he could break in front of it. But on a ball that's hit hard to the shortstop, takes him in the hole, hard at the third baseman, you've got to put the brakes on. Something that's a slow roller that you can run in front of, or a slow roller that's going to bring them onto the infield grass, you can go on. But that was not one. That's something that you practice. And
Ray goes, pitches a strike. The throw down will never get him. Stolen base for Nick Ray. So Ray, with his 11th steal of the year, is sitting in scoring position with 2 out. Did you see Smith try to deke him? He's some smart player. You can see why LSU likes him so much. So Ray in scoring position with 2 outs. T-Bears 0-1 to count now. He's been hit by a pitch, and he sacrificed twice. Once a fly ball, a drive in a run, the other a bunt. So officially 0 for 0. And the pitch, breaking ball, and he fouls it. So it's a ball and 2 strikes. As a hitter, boy, you hate to give up a strike that way. And you check your swing. 1-2 the count. Sarton ready. And the pitch. Checked his swing on a breaker. And the runner takes third. No strike call. They appeal. Or they want to appeal. Now they're going to ask for help. He says he went. The inning's over. So finally got the ask. Finally got the call. T-Bears out on strikes. Inning over with no runs, no hits. Jesuit strands its 7th runner. Bottom of the 6th coming. It is still the Blue Jays 4 and the Bears 3. You are watching the 5A quarterfinals on SportsNola.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Bottom of the 6th, and it is still Jesuit 4 and Catholic 3. Ken Trahan, Danny Ream with you from Grizzly Field, Baton Rouge. And the heart of the order for the Bears here in the 6th, it will be Josh Smith, Tristan Welch, and Daniel Gilbo.
Leading off for the Bears, shortstop, number 8.
Smith, the LSU signee, is grounded into a 6-4-3 double play, and he walked and scored in the 2-run fourth for Catholic. Open stance left side, facing Crabtree for the first time. Who brings it? Foul back, good cut. Mayfield went 4 2/3, allowed 4 hits, 3 runs earned, walked 4, struck out 1, had a wild pitch. No balls and a strike. Next pitch on the way. Way high, back toward the screen. It's 1-1. Crabtree with a 1-1 pitch. Strike over the outside corner of the knees. Good pitch, 1-2. Change speeds on him. And he gets ahead 1-2. And Crabtree with a 1-2 pitch. Down and in, 2-2.
Big spot right here. Catholic High would love nothing more than to get the leadoff hitter on here in Smith.
2 balls and 2 strikes. And the next one to Smith. Fouled off the catcher's glove. It holds 2-2. Just got a piece. Again, they've been able to foul off pitches with 2 strikes in this game on a consistent basis. On 2-2, another pitch to Smith. Foul back to the screen. Quite a battle again. Still 2-2. Barb shutout sent them all 3-0. That's a final. So Barb has won game 1 of that series. In Lake Charles, the 2-time defending 5A state champion. Time called by the hitter. Boy, we've seen pitchers taking a lot of time in this game. It's been a pattern from the start.
In a fairly slow-moving game since the start.
2-2 pitch. Missing down and in. It is full 3-2. Good at bat by Johnson. Worked it full.
Big spot for both teams right here.
No question.
Big spot in a 4-3 game, whether or not the leadoff man in the bottom of the 6th reaches for the team down by 1.
Big pitch here. Here it comes on 3-2, ball 4. He's on. So the leadoff man is walked for the 4th time in the game by Jesuit pitching. It's a recipe for disaster. And the batter is Tristan Welch with the 2-run homer, and he singled and scored.
Well, the double play,
the home run and singled and
the
scored.
double play ball has really saved Jesuit from what that should normally do to a team. Normally, you would think that if you put the leadoff hitter on 4 times in one game, club would have more than 3 runs, as Catholic does right now, but Jesuit has been able to turn some double plays and help themselves get out of jams, and we'll see if they can do it again here, because guess what? Leadoff man's on.
And a dangerous Welch up 2 for 2 with a home run and a single. The pitch and a ground ball foul first base side. It's 0-1. They go to the 4th inning in the battle up north. Airline leads Bird 3-1 in 5A. No balls and a strike. Airline impressive. Swept Chalmette out. 2nd round. 0-1 on Welch. Check of the runner. Crabtree pitches outside. It's 1-1. Jesuit's bullpen is going to get busy again. 1-1 the count.
Richard Oob.
And that's
there. So
that's got to be their day 2 starter.
If this isn't telling you how important Joey Latino thinks winning tonight is. And
here's the 1-1.
He's absolutely correct.
Down a ball 2-1. Sure he is, because no Bruglio changes the dynamic.
Changes it to the fact of the matter is, for Jesuit, unfortunately, not having Bruglio almost forces you to have to sweep this thing in order to win it.
2 balls and a strike. And another pitch. Popped him up right side. A long run for the right fielder toward the line. McGinnis is there, and he's got it for the out. Runner draws the throw from McGinnis. That's exactly what he wanted, and the ball gets by. You got to play smarter than that if you're Jesuit. You don't need to be making that kind of throw.
That's a big out, though, there for Crabtree to get that fly ball. It's important because it gets you to one out with a double play in order.
Sure.
So you are possibly one ground ball in your infield away from getting out of this after the leadoff man reaching for the 4th time tonight.
And give credit to Smith for drawing that throw. Boy, he's a fun player to watch. That is a smart baseball player.
He's a gamer. He's like a coach on the field, constantly thinking and doing everything the right way. You can see why he's getting to play at LSU.
He really does. Here's Daniel Gilbo as a double to his credit. Took a strike. Doubled home a run in the 4th. That 2-run 4th big blow he delivered. Gilbo also has fly to left. Had good swings. 0-1 the count. Smith away from first. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Josh Smith, by the way, 30 stolen bases on the year and 31 attempts.
When's he going to go?
Tell me about it. No balls and 2 strikes. Be a good pitch out, right? On this count, here it is, not going. Swing and a miss, struck him out. So 3 pitches, blows away Gilbo for out number 2. Got to run now with two outs, doesn't he?
You would think they're going to try to pick a spot to get the tying run and score him.
Connor Bowen bats. He struck out and grounded to second. I'd be shocked if he's not running in this situation, given the circumstances and considering his speed and the success he's had running this year.
More than likely, it's going to be just a green light where when he thinks he can get the right jump and take it, go.
Yeah.
Won't necessarily be something that the coach will call on that.
There he goes.
Specific
pitches down, and Schmidt can't handle it. Strike call, and Schmidt in his haste to get up throwing doesn't catch the ball. And there's the tying run at second with 2 outs. 31 steals on the year. Second stolen game for Catholic. And now a base hit for Bowen can tie this game.
Yeah, with those kind of wheels that Smith has, you can bet the third base coach for Catholic High is going to wave him on a base hit.
0-1. Missing down and out, 1-1. And you can't ignore him at second base either. As aggressive as he is and as smart as he plays. 1-1 the count. Stretch. Crabtree. Pitch. He's cutting toward the bag, and it's a strike call. That is not what Jesuit wanted at all. Ray is standing on second base. Somebody missed something there. Jesuit might have caught a break. 1-2.
Got away with that one. Whole left side of the infield was open.
Wide open. 1-2 the count on Bowen. Crabtree steps off, wants the signs again. Now ready, Crabtree the 1-2. Jam shot foul, third base side. Got in on the hands, but give Bowen credit. He fought it off, and it holds it 1-2. Hoop throwing with a purpose in the bullpen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Crabtree ready. With a 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Quality pitch. Inning over. So he fans the last 2 and gets out of it. No runs, no hits. A runner stranded. They've left 3. We go to the 7th. Scheduled for 7. Still Jesuit 4. Catholic 3. And you're watching the 5A quarterfinals at SportsNoah.com, presented by First NBC Bank. On to the 7th inning we go. It's 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and 7 left for Jesuit. It's 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, and 3 left for Catholic. Brady Sarton has just done a magnificent job for Catholic. He came into the game when his team was in deep trouble early in this game. He gave up the 1 run. In relief, but the run wasn't charged to him then, but he gave up 1 in the 3rd. That's been it, just the 1 run off of him in the 3rd. And here he is working into the 7th, into his 5th inning. Aiden Fuentes leads it off, and rolls it to short. Smith comes to get his own hop. Double clutches, but threw him out. 1 gone, 1 pitch, 1 out. And now Steven Sefcich will bat. And again, Sarton has come in and given him that different look from the left side. He's given him all kinds of trouble. And here is Sefcich, who singled, scored a run, walked, struck out, 1 for 2.
Smooth play there by Smith. He's really a fine-looking player who plays the game the right way. Very heads up, as we mentioned earlier, like a coach out on the field.
There's a drive that's going to loop into center field. Center fielder on the run, lays out and caught it. Nice play by Crafassi for out number 2. Got a good jump on that ball. It was off the end of the bat, so that's not easy to read, but he was able to pick up on the fact that that ball wasn't going to carry.
You could hear it. It was a funny sound right off the end of the bat, and really an outstanding defensive play there. So Catholic High with 2 nice defensive plays here to open up the 7th, doing all they can to try to keep it at just a 4-3 Jesuit advantage before they head into their final at bat in the bottom of the inning.
So 2 gone, and here's Austin North, who's lined out, grounded out twice, trying to get something started with 2 outs. If you're looking ahead to the Catholic 7th, bottom 3 are due. Etheridge, Lambert, Crafassi. If anybody gets on, Johnson. Strike is called. It's 0-1. And right now, Sarton is really dominating. 0-1 the count. Jesuit has not had a hit since the 4th inning against him. And that was an infield roller by Ray. Here it comes. Breaking ball. Strike call. Good stuff. He's commanding all of his pitches.
Yeah, that one might have been a little inside, but hey, he's around the zone now. So when you're around the zone, umpires are a little bit more willing to give you some borderline pitches.
1-2 pitch. Down, and it's 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Sarton steps off. And another 2-2 pitch on the way. Fly ball center field. Back goes the center fielder Crafassi with a play. He'll put it away. And a 1-2-3 inning for Sarton, who's just done a great job to give his team a chance to come back and win this game. Nothing across. Bottom of the 7th coming. A 4-3 lead over Catholic. And you were watching the 5A quarterfinals right here at SportsNoah.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Last chance for the Catholic Bears. They trail Jesuit 4-3 as we enter the bottom of the 7th. And Will Etheridge will lead it off against Todd Krapp. He'll be followed by Brennan Lambert and Patrick Crafassi. Should Jesuit hold on and win this, Danny will head down and talk to the winning head coach and the star of the game. A couple of choices there, but a long way to go before that happens. And this is high for ball 1. Again, the leadoff man has been it's unreal that Jesuit has only given up 3 runs in this game when they put the leadoff man on so many times in this game by walk. 1-0 the count. Here it is. And guess what? It's 2-0. Leadoff walk in the first, leadoff walk in the third, leadoff walk in the fourth, leadoff walk in the fifth, leadoff walk in the sixth. 5 times in 6 innings. Bullpen is busy with Richard Oob for Jesuit.
And Catholic with only 3 runs. That's amazing.
Well, that's what I said. That's
amazing.
2-0 the count. Has to throw a strike here. Here it comes. And he cannot. He's high again. So Crabtree's 3-0. And how long will Joey Latino go? He needs Oob tomorrow, but he needs him now too, apparently, because the way this one's going. Jesuit cannot afford to lose this game. Here's the 3-0 pitch.
To win this one.
Strike called, 3-1. I say that because of the pitching situation. Now, Catholic could lose this game and still come back and win like they did against Hahnville. Be very Jesuit without Brandon Bruglio. Ball 4, not close. So the leadoff man has been walked for the 6th time in 7 innings. The tying run is on with nobody out. And let's see how Coach Brad Bass plays this. Might have a pinch hitter coming up. It looks like that will be the case. And you got to believe when you're sending up a pinch hitter in this situation, it's probably to bunt, but we'll see. So Catholic will come in with a pinch hitter here in what appears to be a bunt situation. And the pinch hitter for the Bears will be number 16, Brady Hebert. So Hebert will come in. Hebert is hitting .500, no homers, 1 RBI. But again, he's only had 2 at-bats on the year, so you know he's coming in here to bunt. Has to be, right?
You would think so, and it's just kind of strange in general that a guy with only 2 at-bats would pinch hit in the bottom of the 7th of the quarterfinal playoff game, but he's in here to bunt.
And there's the bunt, and it's perfect. Oh, now you know why. Throw to first for the out. Sacrifice works, tying run to second with 1 out. Coach Bass knows his players very well. Gets beautifully. The pinch bunt gets the runner to second, and here's Crafassi, who's walked and struck out. Now, the other thing about the leadoff walk is if Crafassi can't come through because of the leadoff walk, you flip the order, and you're going to get Johnson to the plate in this inning. Here is Crafassi, who's driven in 18 on the year. Here's the pitch. And a swing, a looping line drive. Ray caught it. Knocked it in the air and caught it for the out. 2 gone.
Knocked it in the air with the glove and caught it with the bare hand.
2 gone, and that will bring Cole Johnson to the plate with the game on the line. He's walked twice, grounded into a double play. What a job by that ball.
Cole Johnson.
Yes, exactly what he did. Knocked it in the air with the glove, caught it with the bare hand for the second out. Johnson is driven in 26. He's been big all year. Tying run at second, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Crabtree from the belt to the plate. Johnson took it outside, ball 1. Gotta 1-0 the count. Ready once again. The 1-0 pitch. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Crabtree falls behind. He's done a really good job in relief of Mayfield. Can he close this one? 2-0 the count. Johnson, a favorable count, steps out. Back in, left side. Crabtree ready. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Ball 3. Now there is a base open, but if you put him on, that's the winning run on base. Although you do get to a righty-righty matchup. I mean, if you're thinking in terms of matchups, 3-0 the count. Ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning, 2 on, 2 outs. And Latino is watching. Catcher to the mound. Oob is ready in the bullpen. Fairbanks to the plate. I got to believe you stick with Crabtree here. He's been your closer all year. He's been in these situations. And situations sometimes are, you know, that makes the difference. And I think that's what he's going to do.
You can tell that Joey Latino's calculating.
That's tough.
His moves here. Looks like he's coming out now.
Well, he is. I mean, it's tough.
Back and forth.
I mean, obviously, you have to win the game. obviously he's walked a couple, but he's been your finisher all year. And you got a guy in the bullpen in Oob that's ready if needed. And he's been very good this year, but it's a tough decision to make. I wouldn't want to have to make it. So they will talk it over now. You know, you think in terms of Oob, he's pitched in 12 games, 7 starts. So he's come out of the bullpen 5 times. So that would not be an unfamiliar role for him. Because that's what you look at, is how comfortable guys are in specific roles. And again, the home plate umpire will break it up, and Joey Latino is going to stick with Crabtree. And I completely get that. I mean, I really do. This is his role. He saved 4 games. He's been your man in this situation all year long.
And it would be nicer to win this game without
using Oob.
Oob coming in, exactly. If you can. It's a big one tonight, though. It's a huge advantage if you can get that 1-0.
Well, here's Fairbanks, 0 for 3, 2 on, 2 out, and a pop foul back here out of play. It's 0-1. Went up there pumping. Airline leads Bird 5-1 going to the top of the 6th inning. No balls in a. What a game here. 4-3 Jesuit, bottom of the 7th. Blue Jays trying to hold on. Crabtree gets a new ball. Didn't like the one that he had initially. Runner at second, the tying run. That's sitting out there as we speak. Etheridge, Hebert, the runner. Or rather, Johnson, the runner at first. 0-1. Way outside and high. It's 1-1. A ball and a strike. Leadoff walk, sacrifice bunt. Pop out and a walk. First and second, 2 outs, and the 1-1 pitch on the way. And he hit him. Or are they going to say he didn't try to avoid it, or what's the call? They're going to point him to first, so it is bases loaded, 2 outs, and you bring Josh Smith, their best player. I mean, what was he pointing to?
I don't know. At first, I think the home plate umpire was thinking about making him stay, and then I think he thought better of it after he had already done that earlier in the game.
And now, if you didn't make the move before, this is almost impossible situation to make a move now, isn't it? Where the base is loaded and 2 outs. Josh Smith, best player on the team, leading hitter, 370 on the year. He's walked twice, scored a run, rounded into a double play. Does it get any better than this? Best player on the team with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th and a 1-run game.
Talk about dramatic here in Baton Rouge.
That's great stuff. And from the full windup, Crabtree will work. So the runner at second will get a gigantic jump. And here's the pitch on the way. And that's high ball 1. And again,
that's the whole thing here for Josh Schmidt. Is he's a good enough hitter. He'll
lay off.
He's a heads-up kind of player. We've seen that all night long. They've got nowhere to put you. They can't mess around with you.
He's not going to expand his zone, is what you're saying.
He's zoning in, absolutely.
1-0 the count. Crabtree with the sign, kicks and fires. That's way outside and high. So he's 2-0, and he's struggling big time. 2 walks and a hit batsman in the inning, and again, I mean, if you're Joey Latino, what do you do? Your guy in this situation all year long, you got to go with him. But again,
I would think that if he would lose Smith to a walk, that'll probably be it for Crabtree.
Right. But then you're forced to get it out to force extra innings. 2-0 the count.
And then Oob could throw a few innings, and then
absolutely.
What do you do tomorrow?
On 2-0, Smith waits to pitch. Ball 3.
The Briglio situation is really going to be a big factor in this series. There's just no getting around it.
Jesuit has been a strike-throwing team all year long. They have not been a strike-throwing team tonight. 3-0 the count, has to throw a strike here. And this game is tied. 4-4 on a bases-loaded walk to Josh Smith. Scoring is Etheridge. Johnson the third. Fairbanks the second. And now Catholic with a chance to win it in the bottom of the 7th. As Tristan Welch will bat, and he's homered and single. And with all due respect to Catholic, this is Jesuit just unable to throw the ball over the plate. That's been the difference here. And now Welch will try to win it. Crabtree will work from the stretch. And pitch. And he got a strike through there. Crabtree's job now is to try to extend the game. Welch wants to end it. 4-4 game, bottom of the 7th inning. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 0-1. Strike 2 call. So 0-2 to Welch. No balls and 2 strikes. And another to Welch. Popped him up. Should end the inning. Second baseman Tabears makes the catch. But Catholic gets the equalizer without the benefit of a hit. 3 walks and a hit batsman. And they strand 3. They have left 6. Free baseball coming from Baton Rouge. We're tied at 4. And you're watching the 5A quarterfinals right here at SportsNola.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Extra innings as we go to the top of the 8th, and we're tied at 4-4 here at Grizzly Field. Ken Trahan with Danny Ream. And here in the top of the 8th inning, Jesuit will send Connor McGinnis, Jake Blashardy, and Josh Schmidt to the plate against Brady Sarton, who's become the story of the game. Sarton has just shut down Jesuit. 5 2/3 innings, only 1 run allowed, and they haven't gotten a hit on him since the 4th inning, and that was an infield hit. First pitch on the way. And he drops in a strike over the inside edge to McGinnis, who's been the hitting star for Jesuit. A home run in the 2nd, an RBI double in the 3rd. Struck out swinging in the 5th. 0-1. Breaking ball, strike call. Boy, he's just dropping that one in there with regularity now. And it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, he's done an outstanding job, and that's really what, if you're Catholic High, you needed him to do. Come in and put zeros on the board, and he's done that pretty much the whole way now.
Breaker down, it's 1-2. Jesuit is stranded 7, and they've lost a couple of runners on the bases. 1-2 the count. Outside and high, so now it's even at 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. And the next pitch on the way. Breaking ball, checked his swing, laid off of a ball down and away. He did not go, and it's full 3-2. So McGinnis has battled back here.
First base umpire gave the no-go sign without even being asked for it.
And the payoff pitch on the way. Hard hit ball up the middle. The second knocked down, but a base hit. That's a base hit for McGinnis. That's his 3rd hit of the game. Has he come up big in this game?
Yeah, he's been outstanding. That ball was hit really hard. Second baseman not able to make a play on it. Now Jesuit with the leadoff in a 4-4 game. So here is looks like Hunt Conroy is going to pinch hit, and
he's up there to bunt.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
So turnabout is fair play.
Number 19, Hunt Conroy.
Hunt Conroy comes on. So Hunt Conroy batting for Jesuit here. Conroy, as mentioned, you know why he's up there in this situation. Conroy on the year is batting 125. Just 8 at bats. And a conversation at the mound and a conversation with base runners as everybody converges here. As McGinnis has started the top of the 8th with a single. And now Hunt Conroy will get an opportunity to advance him. And home plate umpire's beaten a path to that mound tonight, hasn't he?
He sure has.
He's
had
to go
long mound visits.
He's had to break up a lot of these. And he will do so again. Conroy to bunt, no doubt. Check of the runner. And the pitch squares to bunt, took it high, ball one. So Hunt Conroy trying to accomplish what Brady Hebert was able to do last inning for Catholic, which helped lead to a run, but it was really the control issues that produced the run for Catholic. Here's the 1-0, squares to bunt, took a strike. Well, you square in the bunt, you got to get it down. You don't want to take one. That only gives you 1 or 2 left. 1-1 the count.
Yep, you want to stay with good pitches, get that strike in the zone, and get it on the ground away from the mound, advance that runner.
On 1-1, move to first, runner back. One ball and 1 strike. Check of the runner. And the pitch squares to bunt, and he bunts it foul, and it's 1-2. The little things matter, don't they? Yeah, you just have to bunt again. That's why you're up there.
Do it again.
1-2 the count.
Got to advance the runner right here. Only thing now is that you're probably going to have to try to bunt a breaking ball.
1-2 the count. Pitch going to swing now, and he fungos one to first. That'll get it done. That's like a bunt. On to second goes McGinnis for out number 1. Just a little fungo shot to first.
That was the bunt.
There you go.
He just had a swing to do it.
So runner to second with 1 out, and Josh Schmidt is the due hitter. And is he being called back? And he's 1 for 1 in the game with a walk and been hit by a pitch, but he's going to get called back, and we'll get a pinch hitter for the Blue Jays, and that's going to be Chance Molasaw, who's going to get the opportunity for Jesuit. So Molasaw will hit for Schmidt.
Number 6, Chance Molasaw.
There's Molasaw in a big situation.
Jesuit should have 2 cracks at it right here. Molasaw pinch hitting, and then you get BB on deck.
Yeah, Molasaw 259, no homers, 3 RBI on the year, 27 at bats on the season. Time call. Stretch. Long look. And a turn toward second. Pitch sits high on a breaking ball. It's not even close. The pitch is way high. 1-0 the count. 1 ball and no strikes. And another. That's a strike called. It's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Molasaw pinch hitting for Schmidt. Runner at second base. McGinnis tied 4-4, top of the 8th. And breaking ball, fly ball, short left center field. Shortstop's out. He's got to play. Smith makes the catch. Round number 2. Pinch hitter cannot produce, and now it takes a 2-out hit from Mark Beebe. Was walked, grounded out, and laid down a sacrifice. Up with 2 outs here.
Another pinch hitter.
Another pinch hitter for Jesuit. So we're going to get, looks like Sam Ovella is going to get the opportunity here. So Ovella will come to the plate for Jesuit. Joey Latino is pulling on all the stops here.
15, Sam Ovella.
So Ovella will pinch hit for Beebe. Here's Sam at 222, no homers, 3 RBI, right-handed hitter. Got 4 hits on the year and 18 at bats. Runner second, 2 outs. And the hitter steps out. back in, and a strike call to Ovella.
Well, that's so important for Sarton to throw that fastball for a strike there on the first pitch, because that breaking ball is pretty good. He's got it working pretty well the last few innings, and you know, once he gets ahead, he can start flipping that thing in there. It makes it tough.
0-1 is a strike call, dropped 0-2. So Ovella quickly behind 0-2. Airline leads Bird 5-3 in the 6th inning now. No balls and 2 strikes on Ovella. Sarton trying to finish him off and send it to the bottom of the 8th tide. Can he do so from the belt? And a turn towards second. Once again, a lead second. McGinnis. Ovella waits for the 0-2. Runner goes. The pitch is down, and he'll steal third without a play. So McGinnis takes third. Why is that important? Well, a wild pitch or a pass ball. That's why.
And it makes you think twice about throwing the breaking ball.
Certainly does.
You know, that's more important than it seems.
Third stolen base of the game for Jesuit. If you can guess right on that slow breaking ball, you can run on him. 1-2 the count. Runner third, 2 outs. Sarton ready. Here's the pitch. Down a ball. It's 2-2. So Ovella's battle back to even at 2-2. Ovella back in.
Connor McGinnis down at third base has to really be looking for something in the dirt here.
2-2 pitch. Struck him out looking. Inning over. So a single and a runner stranded at third. Jesuit is left. Its 8th runner of the game. We're on to the bottom of the 8th. Still tied 4-4. And you are watching the 5A quarterfinals on SportsNoah.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Bottom of the 8th, tied at 4. Ken Trahan, Danny Ream with you. Todd Crabtree returns to the mound, and he will face Daniel Gilbo, Connor Bowen, and Will Etheridge here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And at this point, you go with Crabtree. I mean, you have to. The game's tied. You're in extra innings. And that is a ball just missing, 1-0. And again, it's the leadoff man again. And this is where Jesuit has just died all night long. They cannot throw strikes to the leadoff man. They've walked him in 6 of 7 innings. And there is a strike. It's 1-1. I mean, that is an unbelievable statistic for any game or any team, but especially for a team like this that is a strike throwing team. 1-1. Inside and low, and it's 2-1 again. And we said it over and over again. You're just cheating fate sooner or later, right? When you do it on a continual basis, it's tough to overcome. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that's high and inside. So it's 3-1. So threatens to do it again. 3 balls and a strike. And here's the 3-1 pitch, and that's ball 4. So there it is again. 7 leadoff walks issued by Jesuit pitching in this game.
Into the box for the Bears.
And Ooh runs down to the bullpen again.
I mean, what are you going to... I mean, so Connor Bowen in what is an obvious bunt situation here once more. Has to be very hard for Joey Latino to watch this. I mean, you're facing a really good team, and to give them free base runners all night, it's just brutal. And now Brad Bass wants to talk to his hitter. It's like, okay, bunt means bunt, right? Or something like that. I can't imagine it would be anything else, would it? And they've shown the ability to bunt the ball very well in the game, and that's no surprise. This game has been just slogging along, hasn't it? It's been that kind of game from the start. Here comes Joey Latino, and he might make the move here. I mean, they waited a long time. Brad Bass waited a long time. He went to talk to his hitter, and Coach Latino's coming to him on, and that's it. So he's going to make the move. Crabtree will come out. Able to go 2 1/3 innings. I mean, Danny, he did not give up a hit, but he could not stem the tie because he couldn't find the plate consistently enough.
And here comes Richard Oob, who I've liked all year. He's done a really nice job on the mound for Jesuit, and you know, you're trying to keep this at 4, but then you get into the issue of how long does this game go? How much does Oob throw here tonight? And who would start 2 tomorrow now?
So Richard Oob comes on for Jesuit to pitch in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Number 2, Richard Oob.
So Oob to the mound with a runner at first and nobody out. In the bottom of the 8th inning of a 4-4 game, you worry about tomorrow. I mean, you wonder who's left, if anything. Jesuit's going to go deeper into their pitching staff than they have in a long time tomorrow, one way or the other, because of the very obvious things. I mean, if you look at their team and what they have after the pitchers that have pitched tonight, Danny, Hayden Fuentes has pitched 10 1/3 innings. Lee Blosser, 7 2/3. Chris Beebe, 6 2/3. Davis Martin, 5 innings. Colin Cullivan, 7 innings, and that's basically it. You talk about piecing it together.
No, the Bergoglio injury is really rear its head tomorrow based on what happened here tonight. You really almost had to have things fall in line, meaning that Mayfield needed to give you, 6 or 7 tonight, and you really didn't even have to get into the pen, and now they've gotten into the pen in a big way with Crabtree. I mean, I don't think he can throw again tomorrow.
Nope.
And then, now you've got to wonder how long does game 1 go here tonight, and how much does Oob throw here tonight, because you could have Oob, Crabtree, and Mayfield all out of the equation for tomorrow. And
Oob 6-2 with a 1.51, 12 appearances, 7 starts. He's been very good. From the stretch to the plate, bunt is on, pitch is down. That's a ball, 1-0. .55 2/3 innings pitched for Oob. There's a lot, only 35 hits. He's walked only 15, struck out 56. Another outstanding ratio. And there's the bunt. It's a beauty. Oob goes to get it. Underhands to first. Winning run to second with 1 out. Bunting clinic by Catholic tonight. You can see why they're such a good team.
Well, they can do that. I mean, they practice it, they work at it, they believe in it. They can go to that small game whenever they need to, and they do a nice job of executing it. And they've got themselves set up here with the winning run and scoring position with 1 out.
Will Eldridge has doubled, walked, scored, lined into a double play. Could be a hero here. Potential winning run at second. That's Daniel Gilbo, 1 out. Stepping out as the hitter. Final in 3A. The 3rd seed St. Louis Catholic held on and beat the 6th seed West Feliciana 4-3. Oob is ready. Pitching. And a chopper towards second. Tiberge has it, and he throws him out. So Tiberge gets his man. Round number 2, but on the play, Gilbo to third, 90 feet away is the winning run. And the Bears have Brennan Lambert at the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. They hit for him in the 7th, but he's back up there now. Trying to win this game. Richard Oob trying to extend this game. Stretch for the runner, third, the pitch from Oob. Swing and a miss, 0-1. No balls and a strike. Sign given. And the pitch outside and high. 1 ball and 1 strike. On Lambert. And the 1-1 pitch. Fouled out of play. The count goes to 1-2 on Lambert.
What a big spot right here. Huh? This is what it's all about right here. Win and run 90 feet away potentially for Catholic. 2 outs, 2 strikes on the hitter. Can Oob make a pitch and get Jesuit to the 9th and keep this thing going?
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. What a job by Richard Oob. You can't do a better job than he just did. In the inning, no runs, no hits, and a runner stranded. Catholic is left 7. Let's go to the 9th, and it remains Catholic 4, Jesuit 4. And you're watching the 5A quarterfinals presented by First NBC Bank on WHNO-TV.com. On to the 9th we go. Tied at 4. Ken Trahan, Danny Ream. What a first game of the best-of-3 series we have tonight here at Baton Rouge between the 5th seed Jesuit, the 4th seed Catholic. And back to the mound goes Brady Sarton. I mean, what job he has done. 6 2/3 innings of relief, allowing just 1 run on 4 hits.
Well, he's done his job. He's given Catholic plenty of time to come back in this game and possibly win it. I mean, that's all you could ask for him. He came into a tough situation, walked into the fire, and has gotten out of it.
Well, here's a guy that could maybe untie this. He homered earlier, Nick Ray. He's got 2 hits. The pitch drops a breaking ball high, ball 1. That's the pitch that has been high all night, that's been called high, and it's the correct call. 1-0 the count. Ray grounded into a fielder's choice. Sits high again, a breaking ball. They've thrown him off speed all night, so Ray's probably looking for it in this situation, wouldn't he be?
Well, now that it's 2-0, he's probably going to get a fastball here, so if it's there, he needs to be ready to hit it.
2 balls and no strikes, and here it comes. Fastball, swing and a miss, doesn't get it. 2-1.
Tulane beats South Florida tonight, 9-4. That, coupled with a Cincinnati loss, puts the Wave in first place in the American. So congratulations.
Great job by David Pierce's team. Down a ball, 3-1 to Ray. Jesuit would love to have him on base with his speed. 3 balls and a strike. Tebers and Fuentes to follow. 3-1 and another pitch from Sarton. Ball 4, he's on. Leadoff walk. Well, that's been the problem for Jesuit pitching all night. Now Catholic walks a leadoff man. It's the first time they've done it. And now Tebers in an obvious bunt situation. He's been hit by a pitch, had a sacrifice fly to plate a run, had a sacrifice bunt, and he struck out. So he has gotten a sac bunt down in this game already. Ray with the lead. Tebers squares, bunts it toward the mound. The play will be to first. Took the safe out. Well, Ray runs pretty well. He didn't want to risk it. Take the out. 1 gone, runner to second. And that will bring Hayden Fuentes to the plate.
Well, how many times tonight has Jesuit had runners at second base, huh?
Well, I mean, they've stranded, as I mentioned. I mean, they've stranded 8, and they've had 2 they lost on the bases. So they've had chances, especially early. I mean, they've had runners at second consistently. I mean, looking back at my scorecard, they've had runners at second base in all but 2 innings tonight. Here's Fuentes. Here's the pitch on the way. Strike is called. Now, Ray was going back toward second base on that pitch. 0-1 the count. He has got to get a good secondary lead. Has to be able to score on a base hit. 0-1 the count. Second baseman Etheridge is way out on the outfield grass. Look how deep he is. No balls and a strike. Fuentes with 21 RBI on the year. Swings and shoots a liner to first. It's caught for the out. Did not hit it hard. And it was right to Fairbanks. Couldn't find any green space. 2 outs. It takes a hit from Steven Sepsich. Well, if Jesuit wants to win this game, somebody's got to get a key hit. It hasn't happened for a while.
You've got to do it. Somebody's got to do it at some point in time. That one right there by Fuentes off the very end of the bat. A little flare to the first baseman.
So here's Sepsich. He's driven in 16. He's singled and scored in this game. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. Pitch on the way. That's a strike. Dropped the breaking ball in there. So Sarta continues to pitch well.
That's been a good pitch. He's really had a good feel for that breaking ball. And when he gets it in there for a first pitch strike, he gets to dictate the rest of the.
0-1 the count. And he stepped out. Sarton ready. And another turn towards second. Has there been a guy to second base that hasn't drawn a look tonight?
No, they do a really nice job of paying attention and working that runner back and keeping them at bay when they're on second base.
And there he goes again. And there's nobody. Clearly, he's just doing that to try to keep him somewhere close to the bag. Ray's an aggressive base runner. Smith will note that. Let's see if he tries to make a play here to cut in behind him. And a liner to first will be caught. So this inning is over with no runs and no hits and a runner stranded for Jesuit. They've left 9. Bottom of the 9th coming. Still tied 4-4. And you're watching the 5A quarterfinals at SportsNoah.com, presented First NBC Bank. On we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Still tied 4-4. Ken Trahan with Danny Ream for Grizzly Field. And here in the bottom of the 9th, Catholic will try to end it. They'll send up Patrick Grafassi, the 9-hole, followed by Cole Johnson and Brendan Fairbanks against Richard Uber. Did quite a job to get out of the last inning without any damage, and he delivers a strike to get ahead of Grafassi, whose walk struck out, popped to short. 0-1 the count. Another from Oob. High, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's down. It's 2-1. Grafassi. Waits for the 2-1 and misses. 2-2.
Good fastball down in the zone there from Oob. And like I said, I've liked Oob all year when I've seen him throw. He's done a nice job for Jesuit, whether it be as a starter, out of the pen. Been very consistent.
2-2 pitch. Fouled out of play. Big shout out to the Oob family. I'm laughing a little bit because my wife is very close friends with Richard's mom, Michelle. They dance together on the St. Stations. There's a ground ball to second. Gobbled up by Bears and the out. So guess what? No leadoff walk and they get it out. One gone.
Always helps from a defensive standpoint. When you get that first out. It's a lot harder for teams to put something together when you get that first out in an inning.
I was talking to Richard's dad earlier, who's a great guy and really good person, and I was joking because Richard's mom is a fitness expert. She's in absurd shape. I don't know if she has 1% body fat. It's crazy. And she makes me feel not worthy every time I'm around her. Here's the pitch, and there's a ball just missing the outer edge. 1-0 to Johnson, who's walked 3 times in the game. You talk about what you want your leadoff hitter to do. He's walked 3 times in this game and grounded into a double play. Commands the strike zone, doesn't he? 1-0 pitch. And he took it just off the plate, and it's 2-0. That's what I'm talking about. Lesser hitters are swinging at these pitches. They're close. 2 balls and no strikes. And now 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Oob has to come in with one here. And he does. 3-1. Tied at 4, bottom of the 9th, game 1, best-of-3 series. 3 balls and a strike. Here comes another, ball 4. So the one-out walk to the speedy Cole Johnson puts the potential winning run on. And how does Jesuit survive this? That's the 9th walk they've issued in 9 innings, and they've hit a batter as well.
It's a lot of walks in one game, and it's uncharacteristic. You know, one of the biggest things that has gotten Jesuit to this point in the season, and the reason that they have a 9-game winning streak, is because of the quality starts and appearances that they've gotten on the mound.
Brendan Fairbanks has been hit by a pitch, 0 for 3 otherwise, took a strike. It's 0-1. Jesuits turned 3 double plays in this game. It's been a big part of why they're still tied in this game. Can they do it again? On 0-1. Here it is. Ball left side. Nice play by the third baseman. Out at second. Relay to first. Not in time. But a good play by Fuentes to get it to Bears for the force. 2 gone. Fairbanks will run first. That gets the dangerous Josh Smith to the plate.
Number 8, Josh Smith.
The Jesuits play the airtight defense in this game. I mean, they've turned 3 double plays. They've eaten up everything. 1 ball that dropped for a hit earlier in this game in the outfield that probably should have been caught. And by the way, that was critical as you go back and look at that, because that was part of that 2-run 4th inning. Again, the little things, right?
Oh, absolutely. They always come back to bite you, that's for sure.
And this is just a visit to the mound by Joey Latino to talk about how to pitch Josh Smith and what to do. In this situation, Fairbanks at first with 2 outs, and of course they might want to run with 2 outs to create something here. Fairbanks, by the way, also runs well. 11 stolen bases. Here's the number on Catholic that's astonishing. They've stolen 152 bases coming into this game. 2 in this game, so 154 successfully, and they've only been caught stealing 17 times. So they just run at will. Put so much pressure on the opponent in the process. Now here is Smith. Runner first, 2 outs. Stretch Oob. Pitch on the way. And a strike over the outside edge. No balls and a strike. And another. Same pitch. Strike 2 called. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes as Oob has worked the outside edge to perfection to get ahead. 0-2. Fouls it back. Holding 0-2. I was going to say, after those first 2, thought maybe he might go further away with that pitch. 0-2 the count.
Well, they've had Smith up a couple times in key spots here, hoping for the big hit from him.
On 0-2. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. What a job by Oob. Man, has he done a good job. No runs. A runner stranded. And Catholic in the game has left 8. So we go to the 10th, and it remains Jesuit 4, Catholic 4. You're watching the 5A quarterfinals on SportsNOLA.com, presented by First NBC Bank. On we go to inning number 10, tied at 4. Ken Trahan, Danny Ream with you. And Danny, need I remind you, I mentioned in the pregame show back in 2010, Catholic defeated Jesuit 9-8 in 10 innings in the regional round. And here we are in the 10th inning once again, and we're playing in Baton Rouge again, which is where that one was. So here we go in the 10th inning, and it's Austin North to lead it off. He's 0 for 4. Pitch on the way. Popped him straight up, foul back out of play. Mentioned they really need to get North going again. He was a big part of their offense for the first half of the season, and it just has struggled down the stretch. 0-1 to count.
He really led things for a good season, and this would be a great time for him to get going again.
0-1. Strike called. 0-2. Another really good family. I've known them forever. Really good people. 0-2 the count. So quickly Sarton ahead as he's continued to get the job done in a big way. Here's the 0-2 pitch. North took it low on a breaking ball. It's 1-2. They just haven't been able to solve this off-speed stuff. Tried to wait back. You could see last inning a couple of guys ended up lying out to first, trying to keep their hands back.
Trying. Yeah. Sarton's been really good and flipping that breaking ball in there.
1-2. Struck him out swinging. 1 out.
Good 12-6 movement. That thing falls off the table, breaks straight down into the ground, and it's been tough on these Jesuit hitters tonight.
They just haven't been able to solve it at all. Connor McGinnis pass. Now he's the one guy that solved pretty much everything. He's single, doubled, and homered. Away from the cycle, he's driven in 2. First pitch to McGinnis. That's high and away. Ball 1. 1-0 the count. The 1-0. And that's a strike. It's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on. Tied at 4, top of the 10th. Swing and a miss again. They cannot solve that breaking ball that drops off the table. It's 1-2.
That's a good pitch, and that's the reason he's put zeros up. Jesuit, we're now in the 10th. They haven't scored since the 3rd inning, and it's been because of Sarton and that good breaking ball that he's got.
1-2 is a breaking ball away. It's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. McGinnis waits. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Popped him up into right field. Right fielder toward the gap is there. Making the catch is Gilbo for out number 2. McGinnis went the other way, got under it. Skies to right, and now Lashardi bats with 2 outs, nobody on. Jake Lashardi is 0 for 4. He's actually 0 for 3. Because Conroy batted for him in the 8th inning, and now Lashardi returns to the lineup. With nobody on and 2 outs. And the pitch. That's a strike. Drops the breaker in there. Sarton pitching brilliantly in his 8th inning of work. And delivers low, 1-1. See Lashardi out on his front foot there. It's just hard to discipline yourself to stay back.
Now the pitch has got good late movement to it. Good 12-6 rotation, and it's late.
1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And what I mean by that is that, you know, your front side's gone. I mean, when your weight started forward, all you got left is your hands. 1-2 the count. That's why they haven't hit balls hard.
Once you jump, you lose the legs. You lose the lower half.
And the 1-2 pitch on the way. And he corks this one in the left, a base hit. Hit that one hard. Stopped beautifully by Welch. Still going to try for 2, and he is there, standing with a double. No slide. But he got to second base. So Lasciardi with a rips a 2-out double. Good hustle to get to second to get him in scoring position. And that provides an opportunity here for Josh Schmidt, who's 1 for 1 with a single, a walk, and he's been hit by a pitch.
Well, Lasciardi just cracked that one hard down the left field line. The left fielder for Catholic, Welch, couldn't keep it in front of him cleanly. And a really good base run, especially with 2 out. Know how important it is to get yourself into scoring position. Lasciardi running real hard out of the box, gets himself into scoring position. So Jesuit could be a base hit away from taking a lead.
They've had runners at second all night, though. As you mentioned, this pitch sits high. It's 1-0. Same breaking ball that crosses the plate and then drops down toward the glove, but it's crossing the plate high. 1-0 the count. I mean, that precipitous drop he has makes a difference. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swinging a foul. Looked like he had a pitch to hit there. That one got a piece of the catcher, Lambert, and it's 1-1. This ball looked like down the middle. 1-1 the count. That's the pitch you really want. Problem is, are you really looking for that when you're seeing all of these big breaking balls?
It's very, very difficult to combat Sarton, and that's why he's got zeros up on the board ever since the 4th inning here tonight, is because the breaking ball is really good. It's got the late break 12-6 movement on it, and then he's got the ability to run the fastball down in the zone, and it's been tough on these Jesuit hitters. They really have not done a whole lot against him. A spot here or there, but nothing consistently. But right now, the biggest thing is, can they get this 2-out hit?
Ball on a strike and another pitch. Breaking ball foul, third base side. It's 1-2. So he's got Schmidt in the hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 2 outs. In the top of the 10th, tied at 4. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Right here, Brady, let's go.
And it was an injured ring finger for Brandon Bruglio. He not only lose his arm the rest of the series, but they've lost their best hitter.
But right, that's what I was going to say. Is what's the difference in this game right now?
If he's batted 5 times,
4 or 5 at bats on the night.
Sure. Well, he would have batted 5 times. They're almost through the order for a 5th time here. Simply bad luck. 1-2 the count. Schmidt waits. And there's the proverbial turn towards second window throw. Runner leads again, Lasciardi. On 1-2. Breaking ball hit hard to left. That's a base hit. Lasciardi's going to try to score. Left fielder up with it. Throw toward home is a cannon shot late. And Jesuit takes a 5-4 lead on an RBI single to left by Josh Schmidt, who takes second on the throw home. What a big hit for Schmidt.
1-2 count on Schmidt. 2 outs. And he delivers. And no doubt about it that Joey Latino is going to wave Lasciardi and take a shot. Haven't had many opportunities, but you get one right there. And that's clutch. That's what it takes to win at this point in the season.
And now we'll get Beebe to the plate as Musso will be the courtesy runner.
Ready, number 22, Mark Beebe.
Here's Beebe trying to play head on. Beebe has walked, grounded out, sacrificed. 0 for 1. They pinch hit for him last time up, but he's back in the lineup now with a big opportunity. With Musso at second. Again, good base running by Schmidt to take second on the throw home. Here's the pitch. Look out, down and in. That's a wild pitch. The runner will go to third. Well, you kind of wondered about Sarton pitching in his 8th inning, Danny.
It's a lot of work, and it's been intense playoff work. So it's not a normal game. This has been, you know, a lot on the line, every single pitch of all these innings, and he's really been outstanding. coming in relief and really giving Catholic a lift, and he gave them a chance to win this game. Has them right in it still, even though they're down 5-4 now.
Runner at third. That's a big run.
Huge run.
BB waits, 1-0 the count. He's driven in 6. He had a big RBI against Destrehan last weekend. And he took it down. It's 2-0. Now, BB would like to reach any kind of way and try to get Nick Ray to the plate in this inning, wouldn't he? 2-0 the count. From the stretch, Sarton. And the 2-0 pitch. That's a strike. It's 2-1. A reminder that SportsNOLA.com will be live from Laplace tomorrow. Think we'll make it in time?
I don't know.
Noon game between St. Charles Catholic and Holy Savior Menard in the 2A state quarterfinals. And there's the ball low, 3-1. For those of you that are going to continue to follow this series between Catholic and Jesuit, you can listen on the radio tomorrow on WGSO 990 AM. Jude Young and Coach Billy Babin will have the call at 2 p.m. Game 2 of this series, Game 3 if necessary. We might be out of here by then. Maybe. 3-1 to BB. Stretch pitch. And that's ball 4, so Ray will get to the plate with 2 on and 2 outs, and a big opportunity for Jesuit's best hitter here. Ray has homered, walked twice, reached on a fielder's choice, stolen a base. And we'll get a visit to the mound, I think. Sarton's given this team everything he possibly can. He's done a tremendous job. And he's pitched 8 in the 3rd innings. And the one thing he's done, win or lose, is he's really preserved Catholic's pitching. Set them up very well for Saturday, win or lose. Whereas Jesuits had to pretty much go for it here. That's why it's, as we said earlier, this game is a must-win for Jesuit. And I know that's an overused term, but it's true. Catholic will go to a 3rd pitcher here, so Sarton deserves a huge round of applause. He has done a magnificent job in this game. Can't ask for anything more. 8 in the 3rd innings. 2 runs to this point. He gets hugs. He should get hugs. Man, what a job he did. There's a big standing ovation. Well deserved. Looks like Elijah Reams is going to take over for Catholic. Oh, it's Landon Beneke. I'm sorry. Landon Beneke is going to take over. So Landon Beneke will be the new pitcher for Catholic. So Beneke takes over.
New pitcher for the Bears, number 24, Landon Beneke.
Well, Landon Beneke is wearing a different number. We had him down as 24, but as 27 rather, but he's wearing 24. So Landon Beneke comes in. 6 appearances, 2-0 with a 2.29 earned run average. 1 start, 1 complete game, 1 save. 18 in a 3rd inning, 16 hits allowed, 8 runs, 6 earned. He's walked 6, struck out 10, and hit 3 batters. So it's Landon Beneke, who is the 3rd pitcher of the game for the Bears. And ready to roll. So Beneke taking over. And looking at Beneke, he kind of reminds us of a guy we see in New Orleans all the time, Keegan Gillies, right?
It's a big guy. A tall, lanky right-hander.
So Beneke takes his warm-up tosses, and he'll be pitching to Nick Ray when play resumes, and can't close the book on Sarton yet. He did a terrific job here tonight. Give his team a real chance to win this game. Couldn't ask for much more from him.
Now batting number 12, Nick Ray.
Here's Ray. Four walks, 6 strikeouts for Sarton in those 8 3rd innings. And he allowed 6 hits. To this point, 2 runs. Beneke takes over. Here's Nick Ray in a big situation. 1st and 3rd, 2 out. Do you start the runner from first? Or do you let Ray just swing away and take his shot? Stretch. And the pitch. Down and out. What a save by the catcher, Lambert. That was huge. Again, with that incredible amount of room behind home plate to the backstop. Run scores easily from 3rd if it gets by the catcher. 1-0 the count.
Yeah, the big thing for Jesuit right here is trying to score that man from 3rd. That's if you can go up 6-4.
Here's the 1-0. Foul. He had a good cut at that pitch. 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nick Ray, who's driven in 25, including 1 here tonight with a home run. That seems like it was yesterday.
It's a long time ago. 3.5 hours
Beautiful
ago.
sunlight. Gorgeous night. 1 ball, 1 strike. Beneke steps off, taking a lot of time out there with the situation being as it is. Understandable. Josh Schmidt, the man of the hour. RBI single here in the 10th to give Jesuit a 5-4 lead. Now the 1-1 pitch. Down and out, 2-1. Again, working Schmidt off speed. 2-1 the count.
Putting them on.
Yeah, they're just going to walk Ray. And I get that too. I mean, he's their best hitter. And they're going to make Tebers beat him here. Now, it does load the bases, forces the pitcher to throw strikes. Tebers has had 3 sacrifices in this game. 2 bunts, 1 sacrifice fly. And he's been hit by a pitch, so he's 0 for 1.
They're not going to mess around with Nick Ray.
No, and it's the right thing to do with a kid of that ability and with the lineup the way it is. If Bruglio's here, it's a different story. But we've made that point. From the full windup, the pitch on the way. And that missed outside, 1-0 from Beneke. That's the problem with up now. If you fall behind in the count, it really makes it tough on the hurler.
You've got to have a lot of confidence in your pitcher that they're going to throw strikes.
A ball and no strikes. From the full windup, Beneke ready, and the pitch. Way outside and high, not close, 2-0. Now if you're Tebers, do you take a pitch here 2-0?
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean,
would not be a bad idea.
I understand that you want to drive in runs, but in this situation.
Biggest thing right here is trying to find a way to score that man at third, because if you go up by 2 heading into the bottom of the 10th, you take the sac bunt out of play, they'd have to get 2 runners on before that even becomes a factor in the bottom of the last.
Beneke ready with the 2-0 pitch. And that's in there for a strike. It's 2-1. He did take, and it's 2-1. Tebers will go to hitting now. 2 balls and a strike. Runners lead from every base. Beneke getting the sign. And time called. Again, taking a lot of time, as we've seen all night from the pitchers. Tebers back in. 2 balls and a strike. And the next pitch on the way. Ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. And if you're Tebers, this pitch has to be dead center cut.
Right, it's got to be the pitch that you hit best, right down the middle, perfect spot kind of thing right here.
3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, bases loaded, and strike 2. So the merry-go-round is on now. What an exciting play. Everybody off with the pitch. 3-2 the count, 2 outs, bases loaded. Said it before, it's a big pitch. I think we've said that enough tonight. There they go. Payoff pitch. Fly ball left field. Very high but playable. And settling under it is Welch. And Beneke comes back and gets out of it. That's a big out. Remember that. Jesuit gets the go-ahead run on a couple of hits. But they strand 3 big runners on base, and that's been an issue. 12 left for Jesuit. Bottom of the 10th coming. Blue Jays 5 and the Bears 4. And you're watching the 5A quarterfinals at SportsNoah.com, presented by First NBC Bank. Can Jesuit hold on? They've had the lead much of the night. Couldn't hold it in the 7th. Can they hold it here in the 10th? 5-4 Blue Jays as we go to the bottom of the 10th inning. Sarton went 8 1/3, 6 hits, 2 runs earned, walked 4, struck out 6, and a wild pitch hit a batter. Richard Oob will pitch to the cleanup hitter, Tristan Welch, here in the bottom of the 10th. He'll be followed by Daniel Gilbo and Connor Bowen. Welch is homered and a tough out tonight, 2 for 4. And he took it high, ball 1. Oob working in his 3rd inning in relief. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Strike is called, 1-1. Mason Mayfield started, went 4 2/3. Crabtree went 2 1/3. And now Oob into his 3rd inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. The next pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. Foul back to the screen. He had a cut. Welch stays alive. Again, that's what Catholic's been able to do all night with 2 strikes.
They do a great job of it. They fight hard. They do not give at-bats away.
And another 1-2 pitch to Welch. And a little fungo shot to short. Caught by Ray. 1 out. Another good pitch by Oob. Got in on him and jammed him. And he got a little easy pop to short for the first out. Jesuit big. 2 outs away.
Big to get that first out when you're up by 1. Takes the sac bunt out of play.
Well, Richard Oob's gotten the first guy he's faced in all 3 innings. So here's Gilbo, who's doubled, driven home a run, 1 for 3 with a walk. Pitch on the way. Missed inside, ball 1, 1-0. And Oob brings the 1-0 pitch. That's a strike. It's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out here in the bottom of the 10th. Jesuit a 1-run lead, and the pitch on the way is high. And it's 2 balls and a strike. Schmidt limping around behind the plate. Looked over at the dugout just now. Something's bothering him. 2-1 the count. Here's another pitch. Tap foul, 3rd base side. It's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oob ready to work. And here's the 2-2 pitch. And a little looping line drive. That's going to be a base hit in the center field. Fighting it off was Gilbo, and he drops one in there, and the tying run is on. And the potential winning run at the play with 1 out in the 10th. Connor Bowen will bat. That's a good pitch down. It's just a good job of hitting.
Good pitch, in this Catholic High team, they just do not stop playing hard, do not stop fighting. They're not going down without a little noise here in the bottom of the 10th. They fought back the entire game, and it doesn't look like that's going to stop right here.
Here's who's grounded out, struck out twice, had a sacrifice bunt. He's driven in a run with that ground ball. The pitch. Strike is called. It's 0-1. Jesuits turn, 3 double plays in this game. Can number 4 be the magic one? 0-1 the count. Runner away from first. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Foul left side. That's going to slice out of play. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. So Oob ahead of Bowen. 0-2. I mean, you hate to see either team lose tonight, don't you?
Yeah, it's been a heck of a
game, and 2 teams that have played good baseball. I mean, we've had just 1 error in the game. 0-2 the count. Again, they've been good with 2 strikes as Catholic. Here it comes. Away for a ball, 1-2. Set up off the plate. That's a ball. Jesuit side house, but that's off the plate. It's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oob ready. Pitch on the way. Fouled again, out of play. Again, the 2-strike approach and job done by the Catholic hitters, as impressive as I've seen all season long.
Yep, they do a good job.
It just wears out the pitchers. I mean, they, mentally and physically, right? Another 1-2 pitch. Chop, foul, 3rd base side. Again, holding at 1-2. At some point, it gets to your psyche a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like, what do we have to do to get these guys out?
On 1-2, here it comes. And a drive to right field, hit deep. This ball is gone. and Catholic wins it by the score of 6-5 on a 2-run home run by Connor Bowen. You talk about a dramatic finish. You talk about a tremendous ball game and an unbelievable ending. And again, the 2-strike hitting. Fouled off 2 tough pitches, and then he drives one over the fence in right field to give the Bears an incredible 6-5 victory here tonight. What an unbelievable game. Finish, Danny.
Yeah, I just said it. They weren't going to stop fighting. They hadn't stopped all night. You know, they were down 3-0, and then made it 3-1, and then 4-1, and then made it 4-3, and then tied it in their last at bat, and now they win it again here in the bottom of the 10th. Well, they win it here in the bottom of the 10th in their last at bat, and that's just I tell you what, that's a gutsy Catholic High team that just competes till the final pitch, and then they just play really hard. And God, what a tough loss for Jesuit, because they played, you know, so hard and really thought they were in a good position right there to come away with an opening game win. This was a clash of champions here tonight in Baton Rouge.
Well, just a fantastic ball game, an unbelievable finish, and it just tells you about the character of these two teams and the Catholic High team. And again, the 2-strike approach all night, their ability to fight off pitches, to see another pitch and live another day. And Bowen at 1 and 2 fouled off a couple of tough pitches, and then he got a pitch played in, and left-handers, they said he liked the ball down, don't they?
Yeah, they like it down, and he elevated it. And as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the size of this park really puts the home run in play at the high school level. And once that one got up into the night, you pretty much knew it was out of here, and that was going to be all she wrote.
Amazing finish, fantastic game, a 6-5 win for the Catholic High Bears over the Jesuit Blue Jays here tonight. And you just have to give all the credit in the world to Connor Bowen and the Catholic for finding a way here. And again, Jesuit with so many opportunities with 12 left on base in this game. They had chance after chance. They just could not come up with that one kill shot, that one run that could really have made the difference.
You go back to, we kept talking about it. You know, it's amazing how it's almost like you kind of call this stuff sometimes before it happens. You know, Jesuit, we kept talking when they were up 5-4 how important I thought it was for them to get that 6th run with that guy down at third base, and they had opportunities. They had the bases loaded there in that inning with 2 outs, and they flew out to left to end it. You know, a base hit right there. They're probably on the good side of things here tonight, but you know, you can't really say anything other than that this was just a really good game between 2 really good programs who have a lot of tradition and pride, and they were going to play hard to the end, and that's a pretty dramatic win for Catholic High.
Well, it really was some special finish. I mean, Jesuit gets 1 in the top half of the 10th, and Catholic comes back and gets 2 on the dramatic walk-off home run. You can't end it in more dramatic fashion than that.
No, I mean, that's you know, highlight reels for years and years to come. If you put together Catholic High baseball highlight reel, I promise you, you know, 10, 15, 20 years from now, that one's on it.
No doubt about it. What a victory for Catholic tonight over Jesuit. They defeat the Blue Jays by the score of 6-5. Totals of the game: it's 6 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. 8 men left on base for Catholic. For Jesuit, it's 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. 12 men left. The winning pitcher is Landon Beneke. He got 1 out and got the win, and he's 3-0 as a result of that big out that he got. And the losing pitcher for Jesuit is Richard Oob, and he drops to 6-3 with the defeat. The game took a little while to complete, I'll tell you. 3 hours and 44 minutes, or 3 hours and, what is it, 3:24. Let me get that right. 3:24. And the final score was Catholic defeating Jesuit by the score of 6-5 here tonight. Final thought, Danny?
Just a heck of an opening game of this series. You know, Jesuit, it's going to be tough, but they've got to flush this as possible. They got to bounce back and look at their season at this point in time as we got to get up tomorrow, we got to get up to Baton Rouge, and we got to win a doubleheader. And try to just keep it in those simple terms that we've got to win a doubleheader, but in order to win the doubleheader, we've got to win the first game to get to that second game, and try to just take it pitch by pitch, inning by inning, try to get the first win, and then see if you can get yourself into a second game, which would be the if necessary in the series, and try to hope that you can find a way to pull out a win. It's not going to be easy, especially not having Briglio, which completely really turn the tables on this club at this point in the year, which it's tough to see. You hate to see an injury have that kind of impact, but you know, what difference would he have made tonight with 5 at-bats coming up in key spots with that 2-hole? And what kind of impact, even if you were down 1-0 like they are, what kind of impact would Briglio have being able to throw game 2 tomorrow and get you that, put you in a position to get that W, and then possibly get to that, if necessary, game with your other guys? Now you got to go straight to your other guys.
Well, as a coach, Joey Latino has a tough job to try to get his team back, but he's certainly capable of doing it. Jesuit's a class program and a good baseball team, and they will do their best to rebound. I mean, we thought about what happened to Santa Maria against Brother Martin and giving up the lead the way they gave it up on night 1, and you said there's no way they'll be able to come back from that. They did, and they won the series. It can happen.
Oh, it can happen, and Jesuit's going to, by the time they get back tonight, get home, get to bed, wake up in the morning, it'll be a new day. The sun will be back up, and they just got to have a fresh attitude when they hit the ballpark and try to see, like I said, if you can win the first one, get you to the second game, see what happens. The toughest thing for them, not as much as getting this one behind them, because I think they'll do that. It's the pitching issue. You're now, you know, you've got to see, you know, Mayfield's probably done for tomorrow. There's a good chance Crabtree's going to be tender and probably done for tomorrow. Maybe an inning or 2 out of him. I don't know if he could even do that. Right. And then you know, Oob, depending on how he, you know, comes back after throwing here tonight, can he give you something tomorrow? It's going to be really tough from a pitching, because once you get through with Briglio being out, once you get through Oob, Crabtree, and Mayfield, you're down to guys that all have just basically single digits in innings for the year. So, I mean, you're really, really thin going into that doubleheader tomorrow.
So, again, a reminder, tomorrow, Danny and I will be in Laplace, 12 noon, St. Charles Catholic Holy Savior Menard, game 2. The Comets won game 1 today, 6-3. They'll go for the series win tomorrow. We'll have it for you live at sportsnola.com. And you can listen to Jesuit Catholic Game 2 here from Grizzly Field tomorrow at 2 p.m. 1:45 pregame show. Jude Young and Coach Billy Babin will have that for you. So tune in to WGSO 990 AM for that. Once again, our final tonight in 10 innings, Catholic High with a dramatic 6-5 win over Jesuit. For Danny Ream and for Chip and Nat, our entire crew, now this is Ken Trahan saying thanks for joining us and be a good sport, and God bless you one and all. We are rounding third and heading home. So long.